afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is the Lord Otter, and we are all here today to play some 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons with all of you guys. So today we're going to be each introducing ourselves. I'm going to give a bit of an introduction as to the world of Mirion, along with everyone's role in it. After that, I will go ahead and hand it off to everyone else here. So first off, in this adventure, you will each be sailors of various origin. How you all got together, I shall leave up to you. Together, you each hold ownership over a brigantine vessel, the name of which is also your choice. You've recently been given a vital hint as to a remote island which, until just recently, was rumored to be little more than just a myth. This is the Kraken Isle, a place that's said to hold a massive hoard of treasure. The man who gave you this information goes by the name of Rickard Flambe, and he was even kind enough to give you a map in exchange for his help. Normally, you would be doubtful. However, the directions of the island are surprisingly detailed and seem to check out. It is still a risk, but one that each of you are willing to make. The only caveat is that Rickard claims to be pursued by Captain Groshan, a rather tenacious orc pirate with a terrible reputation for bloodshed. Apparently, it was he who originally held the map in question, and now it's a race against time to the treasure. So, that is the basic setup for the treasure of Kraken Isle. Each of our sailors are listed just below me in the stream. I will go ahead and start off with King Bob. He can introduce you as to who his character is, and we'll go down the list from there. So, King Bob, I will leave it up to you.
All right. I am playing a half-orc bard. My name is too difficult to pronounce for human, so everyone just calls me Hilka. And my background is I came from a tribe of warriors and decided I didn't want to be a warrior. I wanted to be a famous musician, so I'm out trying to become a famous musician. That's basically my character.
All right. Cool, King Bob. Next will be Nikolai.
My character is named Marvolo. He is a high elf and he is a law singer. He keeps the oral tradition of his people. He travels the seas to collect the songs of many peoples and remember them.
Perfect. All right, next we will go down to Trippy Soul.
I am a human named Wolf. I'm a druid in the Circle of the Wildfire. Background is faceless. Wolf's background is a faceless. He is the prophet for a deity of fire that he wants to spread the word of, and from what he's seen across the lands, he has seen too many fail that he feels he's the only one that could step up to protect them all.
All right, cool. Next is Billy Bobsack. Billy Bobsack, tell us a bit more about your character in particular.
Yeah, my character's name is Shalar Trusfectus Dumar. He is a black high elf. He owns a brothel and is currently having a lot of debts that he needs to pay off. So that's why he goes on this adventure.
Perfect. Next up is Maji-chan.
Ember is a tiefling who tends to be a little accident prone. She likes to tinker with stuff. Sometimes it'll blow up in her face. But she's also skilled in medicine because of that, and a little bit of a pyro.
Fire.
All right. And last but certainly not least, Arthas, otherwise known as Myriosphere Origins. Can you tell us a bit more about Arthas?
Yes, Arthas he's a human. He was a sole survivor of a pirate raid. Became a paladin of vengeance. Now he hunts down all evil. He's kind of cold. And And he likes to drink.
Don't we all? And being sailors, that is certainly an advantage, being out on the high seas. So now, if you all can see the map I have up here on roll 20, I will actually zoom in a little more. It is the city of Ediar within the kingdom of Feldost, from which you are all taking sail out from. And it is this mysterious island of the Kraken Isle that you all are in search for. So I will go ahead and pull up a quick handout. As you can see here, this is the map which Rickert Flambe gave them earlier at the very beginning. And it is to this island which you are each sailing to now. So without further ado, if we are all set to go, essentially, I will go ahead and read off the intro text, and then we'll just go from there.
Cool.
Sounds good.
All right.
The gentle surface of the sea laps against your boat. It is a good day from what you can tell. A day for risk, not to mention adventure. Before you, the sea looms out in all directions, all as your crew is preoccupied with the everyday toil of maintaining your vessel. You yourself feel somewhat drowsy from last night's binge of drinking, partying, and whatnot, a rite which has become all but common among your crew. Yet even so, that is not the reason why you are out here. A mysterious lead has been thrust into your hands by the man at your side. This person has informed you that his name is Rickert, and even though it's obvious that he has had his own fair share of thievery in the past, you are still somewhat inclined to believe his story, even if for nothing more than the enticing mystery of it all, and perhaps treasure at the end. I can tell we're getting close, he says. Can you not? It's the scent of treasure, just over the horizon. What do each of you do aboard your brigantine vessel, which I think Trippy Soul has a name of? I think he's the one who named it.
The Salty Swallow.
The Salty Swallow. All right. Trippy, I guess I will go ahead and start off with your character of Wolf. What is Wolf doing atop your brigantine right now? You can see just kind of like the vast, unending sea, just out to the horizon among all sides. It seems to be a pretty calm day. Your crew of about 80 different sailors, not including you all, are very much just busying themselves with different kind of like various mundane tasks aboard the ship itself.
Except for Wolf. Wolf stands with his arms crossed, staring off to the horizon, just admiring the straight blue horizon and the shimmering coming off the blue surface. Stoic.
Very stoically. You almost look like a picturesque figure straight out of legend, along with an adventure or two to boot. I guess next up, we will go with King Bob and his character of Hilga.
Well, of course, I would be playing music to encourage my crew. Probably my dulcimer, I would say.
Your dulcimer. All right. For that, go ahead and roll me a performance roll to see how much you're inspiring your fellow crewmates.
23.
23. More than enough. So you're playing a very exquisite tune just on your dulcimer. It's very soft and sweet, and it seems that the entire breadth of the ship is just covered under this very soft flora. Quite lovely tune. Everyone seems to hum along as you're just kind of like going along, busying themselves. It's very entrancing. It almost feels like you're not even doing any work at all. Next up, Nikolai. What are you doing in the middle of all of this, with this music going on in the background?
Marvolo is playing his flute, and he is in tune with the song. He's providing background voice, or background sound.
Cool.
Go ahead and give me a performance roll as well to see how much you add onto this singular melody.
Ooh, nice.
19 plus 3, 22.
22. The flute complements the primary dulcimer almost perfectly. It makes the overall melody even sweeter. It's just overall, it's an amazing tune.
They're in the zone.
Very much in the zone. It's a nice, calm day. You're all feeling the creative spirit flowing through you. It's wonderful. All right. Next up is Billy Bob. What is Shalar doing?
Playing a round of cards.
Okay. So you are in the middle of playing cards just with like a couple of crewmates off to your side. One of them gives you like a very toothy grin as you're just kind of like dealing one after another, raising here and there. Go ahead and give me a deception check to see how well you are playing your hand.
Ooh.
What is that roll? Let me check very quickly.
Oh,
It looks like a 22.
Yep.
All right. So you're playing your hand very expertly, partially due to your sailor companions not being the sharpest tools in the shed. So it's like every time you really don't have the best hand, you fold while pretty much being able to convince everyone else that okay, you pretty much got the best hand there. So whenever you fold when you need to, whenever you do have the hand, you're just like sweeping up all of their coinage. I'd go ahead and say you get an extra 10 gold pieces along with 15 silver pieces.
alrighty.
All right. Next up, we'll go with Maji. Maji, what is Ember doing?
Amber's just sitting there listening to the music, whittling away on her newest little project. Unfortunately, it's starting to malfunction, so she's deciding whether or not she should just throw it overboard.
The thoughts are mulling over in your head, but it still looks aesthetically pleasing, if nothing else anyway. It may not work, but you can still see that one or two of your crewmates are perking the odd eye in your direction, looking at what you're working on. There is a matter of interest there. And lastly, what are you doing, Arthas?
Arthas? Arthas, over there?
You're
He's
not
falling
muted, are you?
asleep. He passed out on the deck.
Oh, no.
Oh no!
Drank too
Timber
much.
his booty.
I know. Ah. Of all times.
I think
Why
Arthas
then?
is still a little hungover.
You had all times.
There
He's
we
not
go.
a dwarf, is he?
Sorry. No, I don't know why it just does that, but it kicks me every so often. Okay. Now, I said I was probably in the crow's nest watching out for trouble.
Okay. So you're looking out in all directions. So from the surface, you can see that everything is bright and clear and wonderful. But go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay. I just do the roll. I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Should be a charisma check.
So how do I roll the charisma check? Do I just push roll and then?
You should be able to just pull up your character sheet,
Okay.
and
the
if
little,
you just click on it, it should roll it for you.
Yeah, if you're doing D&D Beyond it rolls it for you automatically. It's pretty nice.
I was on D. Yeah, I'll do that real quick. 1 second.
Yeah, not all of the rolls have to be here on Roll20. Even if you just have a die off the hand and if you know what bonus it is, I'll take that just as much.
Okay, so. All right.
How is it nobody wants to talk to me unless I'm like on live or sleeping?
And then
That
and
is
that's
usually
not
how
me.
it goes.
All right, did you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, so I got a 10.
A
Okay,
10.
then add your. Is that your
Yeah,
roll or is that with everything?
it was a 6 plus a 4 equals
Okay. You're
Okay,
good.
so a 10 in total.
Yeah.
From what you can see, just kind of like peering around the place. For one, your perception wasn't really the highest, but at the same time, you are at such a high vantage. So from what you can see, it's pretty well clear skies all about. You can, however, just straight on, you can see sort of like the faintest shadow of something just on the horizon. You're not entirely sure if it's definitely land, but it seems like something's just kind of like well up ahead, possibly just a few miles.
Okay. So I'd probably shout down, tell them there's something ahead. Not sure yet.
Yeah. So all of you pretty much down on the deck, you can hear your companion telling you that there's possibly land or something up ahead anyway.
Yeah, so Wolf shifts from the starboard side and moves up to the front to look up ahead now. Still crossed his arm, stoically staring.
Rickard just comes up to you. He's like, "So I'm guessing we're getting close to this. It's possible. Do you think it could be Kraken Isle or something else up ahead?"
It's something. That's all I'm gonna say.
Everyone, make me a perception check now. This will be for everyone.
All right.
23.
23. Is that you, King Bob, who got a 23?
That is me.
All right. So yeah, you would be the one to notice this anyway. So
Oh, it was a
from
nat
what
20 too, apparently.
a nat 20, definitely. Okay. So along with this, you're also kind of just looking out towards the sea as well, just in the middle of.
Is mine okay? Hold up.
You rolled it. It's a 22.
No. I'm asking because doesn't it is doing the advantage and disadvantage shit. Rolling
So
both.
it does the advantage disadvantage stuff on roll 20. Just
One,
go with the
two
left
numbers.
side.
Yeah.
How do I do that?
The little on your character sheet where it says under skills or above skills, acrobatics, animal handling, arcana, all that stuff. Just
I
to
have
write
sheets
up your
so I can actually
stats.
look at it.
Just click on one of those
Well,
numbers.
I don't
red,
think Maji's
highlight red.
character sheet is on
Jesus,
roll 20.
blind as fuck.
She has a
So
plus one.
Maji,
So
what you
roll
can
a
do
20
is just
plus
roll a
one.
d20 on the left side and look at your character sheet and just add your perception bonus to it.
Okay.
Or you can always type in the command /roll 1d20 plus whatever number
Plus
for
one.
that thing. One.
So okay, so then with the plus one I got a 12.
A 12? Okay. All right. From what I'm seeing here, it seems that it would be Shilar and Hilga who notice. So the both of you can see just kind of like casually looking out towards the sea, along with Mavolo spotting out what you very well suspect might be land straight ahead. Also on the starboard side, directly to your right, you can see another shadow that is significantly closer and is moving fast ahead. It looks to be another ship. So with
it looks
that-
like it's heading towards the island as well.
It looks like it's heading straight towards you.
Oh, towards us. Okay.
Would my dark vision be able to pick up on the closer item?
No.
No. Okay.
No, it would not. This really isn't like looking in darkness. You're just going by distance.
Gotcha.
Well, I changed my tune to a more appropriate warning danger approaching tune.
So Wolf looks back to the starboard side and scratches his head a bit. I was just looking that direction. What the hell? And equips his spear and shield.
You all also have a number of cannons at your side as well.
Ooh. What's the damage on a cannon?
Am I firing it or no?
Wait, hold
Uh,
on. Can we
bonus
see
to it.
the? Can we see the sails of the other ship?
Yes. So Shalar,
Something
you
else
and
is ship.
Hilga can very much see the familiar black sail atop it, with just kind of like a skull and two crossed
Oh, joy.
pirates.
Pirates.
Femurs.
How many
Shalar's gonna
cannons?
scream. It's time to get the fuck out of here.
How
Calm
many
down,
cannons are available?
It's 3 on each side.
Can we see
Okay,
how many
Mavolo
cannons are on that
climbs.
ship?
Say it again.
Can we see how many cannons are on the other ship?
You can try giving me another perception roll, but for the moment, no, you cannot see. It's too far out.
All right. Nobody has a spyglass?
Here, let me try.
Let me check.
I don't. Wait, how smart am I supposed to be playing this character? Oh, I'm an
I
idiot.
rolled a
Never mind.
23.
Oh, that's a natural 22. Whenever it shows green like that.
Mhm.
Ooh.
Shalar, you squint your eyes just enough, and from what you can see, it isn't so much from the ship itself, but you see a sequence of just puffs of smoke emanating as several cannonballs just fire in your direction, all missing you, luckily. But at the same time, you count maybe around 4 cannons firing straight towards you. And Mavola,
so guys,
you notice much the same thing.
Okay, Mavolo shouts to man the cannons, and he climbs up into the crow's nest and summons his packed weapon bow.
And Billy Bob, what are you doing?
I guess I'm gonna equip my short bow. How much distance is it in between us and that ship?
From what you can tell, it's fast closing, but there's still probably a little over 100 feet between you.
I think short bow is 60 feet, ain't it?
Yeah, it's getting closer, but it's fast closing distance. And with that, we're going to go ahead and roll initiative.
17.
Let's see.
We just roll a d20, don't we?
I'll type it in.
We'll go ahead and add this for everyone.
Cool.
I
Otter,
actually
I just
forgot.
roll a regular d20, right?
What was it?
So I just roll a regular d20.
It's going to be a d20 plus your dexterity.
Right.
Okay, so just need to roll the dexterity.
Right.
Unless there are skills that do give you bonuses, like mine, I get a bonus. So mine's actually a +3 instead of +2. So you never know.
I got a 16.
16 for Ember.
I think I got a 16 as well.
All right. And I'm still trying to remember everyone's names really quickly here. Shalar. How could I forget?
Yeah, I know, right? How dare you?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a glutton for punishment for getting that one.
That's very true. And Maji, you said you got a...
I got
You
16.
got a 16. Who am I missing here?
Arthas.
Me.
3,
Arthas.
4, 5. Yeah.
Give me a second. I'm trying to roll. Man's not letting me. Come on, roll. It's a dexterity roll, right?
Yeah.
Well, here, just give me a second. See if I do on this.
Oof.
What's your dex modifier?
That might be the worst roll of the game so far.
That is not the best roll, unfortunately.
I got 8
What did you roll?
plus
2.
8.
You rolled a 2 before that, I think.
Yeah, it keeps rolling twice for you.
What's your dexterity modifier? Arthas, do you know what your dex modifier is?
Yeah, it's my plus 0.
Plus 0? Okay,
So it's a 2.
So,
then it's just 2.
Yeah.
That's an unfortunate roll. And lastly, I'm going to go ahead and roll for the enemies. It is a 15. So first up, it is not going to be Wolf. Why is it doing? Okay, maybe not. There we are. Hilga, you are up first. So you can see that the ship is just fast closing in on you, but at the very same, you have access to your cannons, or you could try and prepare something. What are you hoping to do in the moment?
What's the skill check for shooting a cannon?
Skill check for shooting a cannon. It really isn't a skill check. So what you really end up having to do is there's 3 different things you can do to go ahead and fire it. So there is aiming, which is just aiming it right in the general direction. There is loading the cannon, and then there is firing, which just acts like a regular attack. So you can see that it's already aimed properly, but you probably need to load it first.
Can the bard inspire the crewmates to do man all the cannons?
That is true. The crewmates are very much kind of acting in tandem with each of you as well.
Okay, I think I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
So
I think that's
we both have to
inspiration
load it
kills are-
together because that makes sense.
thing.
Usually, you need 2 people to load a cannon, anyways.
Right. So yeah, pretty much along with your turn, it's your crewmates going with you.
Okay.
I'm assuming that loading a cannon is a full action.
Yeah, it would be a full action. So along with their help, I could say you would probably say that they're actually loading it for you while you're aiming and firing.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll me just a d20 and add. Let's go with a +9.
Let's see. I don't know how to add it.
Hey, that unstable project I was working on earlier, could that magically be thrown at the enemy?
You could try.
Well, it's a nat 20, so 29 then.
Ooh, damn.
29. Oh
Yep.
yeah, that definitely hits.
Damn.
So you go ahead and once your crewmates have already kind of put in all of the gunpowder along with the cannonball, light the fuse and just
Alright.
straight hits dead on. You
Right.
can see even from this distance that it hits squarely in the hull. You're
Ooh.
not exactly sure how much of the crew it's actually wiped out, but you imagine it's probably a sizable portion. It's certainly done some damage anyway.
Wolf pipes up, or Wolf shouts, "Nice shot!"
Kudos to the bard.
So
Noticing
you
my
still
highly my highly volatile project that I was still questioning whether I should throw overboard, I decided to try to launch it at the enemy ship.
All
That
right.
should be fun. I like this
What?
idea.
Well, all right. So once it gets to your turn, that's when we'll resolve that basically.
Oh, is it still my
Okay.
turn?
Yeah, we gotta
Yes,
turn it.
it's still your turn. So during a turn, you have an action, movement, and a bonus action. So
Oh,
you've
cool.
already used your action. I would say you used about half of your movement just to move towards the cannon. Bonus action is really just something small, like if you need to pull out an item or something along those lines. That's what that would be.
I don't think there's anything I really want to do yet.
Just start playing the music again. Start jamming out.
Well, I actually do have a bardic inspiration as a bonus action, which would give someone a 1d6 for 10 minutes on an ability check, attack roll, or a saving throw. So I can kind of make sure that the cannon hits, or well, it has a better chance of hitting.
Yeah, Ember's up next.
All right, I will cast bardic inspiration on Ember
Okay.
as my
All right.
bonus action.
So you just start kind of like humming a bit of a tune, all the while this insanity and chaos is happening. Ember, you immediately feel a lot more inspired, a lot more invigorated, even though you're facing danger squarely in the eye. And that leads us up next to Ember. What are you doing?
She chuckles as she notices the item that she was tinkering with is starting to vibrate and grow a little bit unstable. She looks at the ship and wonders if she has enough range to use catapult to launch the item at the ship.
Okay. First off, go ahead and make me an Arcana check, just to make sure that you can. It looks like your arcane device is a little unstable, but you're not necessarily sure if anything destructive will end up happening. So go ahead and make that kind of check to see if you can possibly wire it just the right way.
What code is that?
Arcana is an int check.
It would just be you rolling a d20, adding your Arcana bonus
Oh,
to it.
okay, gotcha. Sorry.
Looks like a +3, I think, if I can read that right.
I think it is too. Proficiency bonus? Is that Arcana?
You should have proficiency plus your intelligence modifier.
If you're proficient in the skill, if it's checked off for you, then you'd add proficiency to it as well.
Okay, so then it's +4 whatever I roll with the d20.
Right.
I got an 11, so total be 15.
11. Okay. So you can see that there's definitely an unstable element to your project you've been working on over the last few hours. For you, it's a little bit of nothing to just kind of like cast a few minor charms on it, and all of a sudden you've got yourself a miniature bomb on your hand. So with that, you're pretty sure that if you catapult this thing, it will probably cause a sizable explosion upon impact.
Alright, and now I'm rolling d20 again for likely hit.
Yes, so I forget exactly how catapult works as a spell.
I have it under Cantritrope, but I could be wrong.
Let's see here really quickly.
Oh wait, I saved the screenshot of that. Hold on.
Oh, I don't... Let's see this really quickly. I don't think that's under the player's handbook.
No, that would be in the Artificer book.
Okay. Well, it's a good
Magical
thing that Maji has a
tinkering.
screenshot.
I have a 60-meter range.
60-meter range. Okay, so it's still a little far out. So it'd be just a little shy at the moment. What you can do is try and ready an action. So you can basically say whenever this happens, you do that. So
Okay.
once it gets in range, you catapult it off, and it goes straight towards the ship.
All right. So for right now, I'll get it ready. I'll use an enchantment to try to keep it from going off on the ship until the threat gets closer.
Okay, so once it gets in range, that's when you're catapulting.
Yes.
All right, cool. That's going to be your turn unless you want to move anywhere.
No.
All right. Next up is Shalar. Shalar, what are you doing in the middle of all of this?
Well, I'm getting a bunch of other crew members to get their bows and start making fire arrows.
Okay. Go ahead and are you just trying to rally up the men? Are you trying to kind of put some spirit to them, or is it really just hey, get your asses like up to snuff, you know?
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
getting like, I don't know how many. Just getting some of them to get bows, and we go ahead and start preparing
Okay.
up fire arrows.
All right. So I would say that's
Whatever oil we
probably an
got.
action. You're all just kind of readying with a volley of fire arrows once it gets pretty much into range.
Yeah, to shoot at the sails of the ship.
Okay.
Good
Go
call.
ahead and give me an intimidation check.
Okay.
22, and that's a natural 20 as well.
Nice.
All right. Yeah. Your words are like verbal fire. As soon as you end up issuing out orders, everyone is just like immediately at your attention. So they're going at almost superhuman speeds, just kind of like dousing their arrows with a bit of oil, just kind of like putting a tinderbox to it to make sure it lights a flame. And then by the end, you all are just pretty much like bows taut, ready to fire once it gets closer.
All right.
All right, you doing anything else?
Who?
Shalar.
Not just, I guess, readying an action for the fire on the sails when it gets in range.
All right, cool. Next up is going to be the enemies. And the first thing you notice as they come even closer, they get right into range with their ship. So I'm going to say first Maji's spell goes off, and then Shalar. All of you just immediately follow up with a volley of arrows. So Maji, do you need to make an attack roll? Is that how that works?
Let's just assume yes.
Should be with her spell bonus. So that would be +4. A D20 +4.
Oh yeah. Get it, Maji.
All right. My character laughs hysterically as she readies her spell, aiming for the ship.
Okay.
The little pyromancer in her comes out. I got a 19 +4.
19
Oh,
plus 4, a 23.
Nice.
Yeah, that definitely hits. So you just end up taking this magical artifact you've created, and you're almost kind of like holding it out, not even with your hands, but it's like this spectral force just kind of like right out from your palm. It starts spinning faster and faster, all before just this energy just catapults it forward. It lands squarely on the deck, and right upon impact, just this massive explosion of like magical arcane force. So go ahead and roll me 3d8 and bludgeoning damage, along with an extra amount in force. So that's going to be 68 in total.
Okay, so the one I only had a 3. Whatever that means. On the D8 dice?
No, you're rolling 6 of them.
Oh, 6 of them. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be 6 d8 dice.
I just figured out how to do that on D&D Beyond. Cool.
23 total.
23 total?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So just from that explosion alone, you can see a couple of shadowy figures. From this distance, you recognize them as orcs. Just these quite large, like burly, muscly figures, just kind of like immediately getting knocked back from the impact. One or two of them ends up just getting hurled off the deck entirely, just cascading into the sea. And you can see it's done quite a bit of damage from what you can tell. Following that's going to be Shalar with the volley of fire arrows. So go ahead and roll me an attack for that. And I would say do it with advantage. So roll the d20 twice and take the higher score.
Roll it again.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck it. Only got 9.
What's your regular attack modifier for your bow?
+5.
+5, so that's going to be a 14 in total. So from what I can say is that even though it's in range, many of the shots actually end up missing. They end up landing just a little bit shy of their intended target. However, you can see one or two of the fire arrows actually landing true, and it seems like the faintest beginnings of fire beginning to catch along the side of the vessel anyway. It's not
Oh,
much,
didn't
but
hit
it's
the
a slow
sail?
fire.
He was aiming for the
Would I
sail.
be able to enchant his weapon, or is that I have to wait for my turn?
What are you? Are you trying to use a specific spell, or are you just trying to help him out?
I'm trying to help him out. I have
That
weapon enchantments for allies.
that would be more on your turn.
Okay.
So it would really just be like on your turn. It would be your action to say, "Hey, I'm helping him out. Do this," and that would
Gotcha,
give
gotcha.
him advantage.
Sorry, I
let-
didn't mean to interrupt. I didn't know how that worked.
I
No,
don't know
it's
if
fine.
it's changed or not, but in third edition, enchanting was more about like it took a day to enchant something, and it
Jeez.
was enchanting an item or something like that.
Yeah,
I
and
think that's
this
what that means.
it wouldn't technically be magical. It would be more that you're just helping him to kind of like aim his weapon and fire. So it's just a very rudimentary type of helping out.
Gotcha,
but-
gotcha. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's fine. So you can see that the enemy ship is starting to catch fire. Even so, no additional lives were lost on the other side, and it only comes closer. After just a couple more seconds, the ship is right there next to you, and you can see this gigantic, just orc with a piratical hat donned on top of his head, just kind of like lording over the rest of them. He just raises his scimitar high. He's like, "Raid them, men! Take back the map! The treasure is ours!" And from what you can see, about 4 massive orcs, one larger than the rest, immediately end up just grappling over and boarding your vessel. And with that, I would say it is back to Wolf.
Oh man. I think we'll play. I had like 3 different moves I was gonna do here, and things keep changing. All right. Oh, it is. How many orcs just landed on us?
There are 4 in front of you. There are 3 that seem to be, they are large, but they are nothing compared to one who seems like a massive beast of a humanoid.
I'll do this. Okay. So I'm gonna do Wolf puts out his hands and says flaming sphere and aims for 3 of the orcs that are in front of him with his magical attack that does
Okay.
2d6 fire damage.
Okay, so there are 2 of them that are bunched closely together. That's about kind of like the best from what you can see anyway. There are 2 that are like right adjacent.
2d6.
2d6. Let me check this really quick.
It's usually
Really quick.
it's a deck save or a saving throw to have the damage most of the time.
Okay. All right, I'll go ahead and make a dex save for 2 of them.
Oh wait, did I read the wrong one? I think I read flaming sphere. Hold on, sorry, my
I
bad.
thought you said flaming sphere.
Yeah, you said flaming sphere.
Oh, okay. No,
Yeah, it
that's
was
what,
Flaming Sphere.
so that's actually a different attack. What that does, it makes a 5-foot diameter sphere appear. I was thinking scorching ray for some reason. That makes a 5-foot diameter sphere of fire appear in occupied space, so like in front of me.
Right.
Any creature that ends its turn within 5 feet of that sphere must make a dex saving throw. The creature takes 2d6 fire damage on a failed save, half as much on a successful. Yeah, as a
I
bonus
also
action.
think it's whenever
I can move the
you
sphere.
first conjure it, they take damage too. I think that's right.
I could post it right here in the chat.
Yeah, that's
I'm
fine.
reading it right now, actually.
That's what I copy.
Oh, you can move the sphere too. Interesting.
Yeah, so on a bonus action, actually, like kind of roll it into them if I wanted to. So I want to like pop it in the space, between them, or in front of
Okay.
me, between me and them,
Okay.
with like a giant sphere of fire.
Yeah,
That works.
You can ram it into people as a bonus action.
Yeah, so you can put it in kind of like the space of one of the orcs, but you can use a bonus action to just ram it through both of them.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great. I'll do that. Like, encase one in a sphere, and then, yeah, let's see what that does.
Okay,
See
it
if
sounds
we-
like both of them are going to have to make dexterity saving throws.
Mhm.
Correct.
One of them is rolling really poorly. Okay, one of them rolled a 5, the other is a 20.
So one of them takes full damage, the other one would take half damage.
Mhm.
All right.
So one takes 10, one takes 5.
It takes 5. Okay. So what you end up doing is you just kind of like wave up your hands using your druidic focus, the charm on your person, and all of a sudden this gigantic form of plasma just like formates in front of you, forming right next to one of the orcs. And right as the orc nearest to it notices it, it just slams directly into him. He ends up taking the full brunt of the damage, just kind of like mostly getting incinerated, just barely surviving, whereas the orc right next to him just barely dodges out of the way, but still sustains a few burns along the way. Are you doing anything else, Wolf?
Yeah, so my bonus action is I take my spear, and I use it as a baseball bat on the sphere and ram it and like bash it into the other orc.
Bastion. So you
Right.
did that with
Yeah.
after conjuring it. You pretty much conjured it in one space and then rammed it through both of them as a bonus action.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
So you shouldn't have another bonus action.
Oh, really?
No.
You
already
only
used
get
yours.
one bonus action on your turn.
There you go. So that would be pretty much it. I already moved.
Oh, I didn't think I moved it. I thought I just summoned it on that one guy, and then my
You
bonus
summoned it
action I
on
get to
one
move
and
it.
then moved it to the other guy. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, so it's like whenever you conjured it, it's like it summoned it like either in his space or right next to him. And so just moving it into him, that's what ended up causing the damage.
Oh, okay. I got
Yeah.
you now. I got you. Okay, good. So one's effed up and one's half effed up.
Yeah. Pretty much it went in kind of like a straight line. The one that was nearest to it at first, who got hit first, he's really fucked up. The
Yeah.
one right next to him, he's wounded, but he's still mostly fine.
All right. So yeah, and not much I could do. Raise my shield, defense.
All right. Next up is Marvolo. What are
Walk
you doing,
forward
Marvolo?
phasers.
Um, I take my bow and I aim at the big orc.
Okay. Go ahead and make me an attack roll for your bow anyway. The big orc just kind of like gives you this big growl. He's like, "What are you looking at?"
I'm up in the crow's nest if he sees
Oh, that's
me.
right.
Do I get advantage or something like that?
Yeah, you are pretty high up. I'd say you have advantage on that.
Then
Ooh,
it's a
nice.
19 plus 7.
okay.
No,
So
plus
I,
6, plus 6.
I should probably elaborate that this larger orc, he's wearing plate armor, along with just having like this gigantic battle axe in his arms. Even so, being at a higher ground, you're picking like the most advantageous spot, so it ends up hitting him squarely along the jugular vein. Go ahead and roll me damage for that.
Just a second. 1d8 plus 4. 10.
10. Okay. So you can see that this orc is surprisingly tough, especially for his size anyway. But even so, just the exact positioning of the arrow, it seems to stagger him for a bit. He's just like, ah! He's very much disoriented anyway. He still seems to be very much alive. He's not quite as wounded as the other two orcs, but it did do quite a bit.
Okay, that's it. I don't have anything to do for a bonus action.
All right. last up is Arthas.
Yeah.
Go, Arthas. Go, Arthas.
All right. Okay. What I'm gonna do is, am I still up in the nest? I'm not.
Yes.
Okay.
If you didn't move at all, you would still be up in the nest.
Okay. I haven't been on the move yet, so this is my first. Okay. Just how far would they be from me in the nest?
So from your position, they're about 30 feet away. You do have kind of like an advantageous kind of like angle. So even so, the total distance is 30 feet.
Okay. I'm gonna take out my halberd and probably jump down onto one of the orcs. And because I have a halberd, I get an opportunity attack because I'm Polar Master when a creature gets in range, and also I can also do my attack. So I get pretty much like 2 attacks.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and make me a roll for that.
All right. This is my D20 plus my strength.
Yes. If you're proficient with a halberd, it's also your proficiency bonus.
Okay, so that would be okay. Come on, show me rolls. That's not showing me. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna go to the other one. Somewhere the other one's not doing what I want it to. Okay. So give me a second. I'm trying to figure this out. I need to pull up my character. See if I can. Where is? There's. Oh wait, here we go. Ability. Okay, there we go. D20.
All right. That is a strength save. You can just go ahead and roll a d20 and add those bonuses if that helps. Wait, let me. So this is adding a d20 plus your strength as part of it. Anyway, so you would go ahead and add proficiency on top of that. So it'd be an extra +2 to this. So that would be a 15 to hit. Or
Uh-oh. He died. They
yeah, a
kicked him out of
15.
the stream again.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, that's
Let me see. I don't know if it's Roll20 or what that's taking them out.
No, it's
There
the
we go.
website. For some reason, the website. Every time I get on the website, it takes me out. Okay.
Yeah, Roll20 is messy like that.
Yeah, but I have +3 strength, +2 proficiency bonus. So that would give me. So if I just
An
roll,
18.
what's that?
That's an 18.
Okay.
An 18 in total? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
That would actually just hit. So just kind of like jumping down with your halberd, managed to kind of like just cleave a solid angle, just kind of like straight across his torso. Go ahead and roll me some damage for it.
All right. See if I can.
I don't know what the freaking halberd is. 1d10 maybe?
I think it's a d12 actually.
Is it? Halberd is. Look it. I have it written.
I got it.
down.
It's 1d10 slashing.
1d10 slashing. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Plus your strength bonus.
All right. Yeah, I see it now. So I'm gonna roll d20.
No, a d10. You roll a d10.
Oh, d10. Sorry. Why is it not showing me the rolls? It used to show me the rolls. Like it shows like the dice roll across my screen, but now it doesn't do it.
You want
I'm
to
just
do
gonna
a
roll.
just
beyond?
have a d20 off to the side that you can roll physically. That also works.
Yeah, I'll just do that. 'Cause
Yeah, I got a spare dice kit over here just in case.
Just in case.
Physical's better than digital. I think
Yep.
we established that.
Especially
Well.
when digital fucks up on you.
Yeah.
Say they've proven that digital is not anywhere near as random as physical, but
Yeah.
that's beside the point.
No,
No.
it's very true.
It's like the game watches you. There's an algorithm. Has a little AI built into it.
so 8 plus my strength. What is it? No, it's yeah, isn't it? Attack is what you roll plus strength and proficiency, right?
Not for
Just
damage.
strength.
Huh?
Just
Not for
strength.
damage.
Okay, so I got 8 plus. Okay, plus my strength. Is that 13?
13?
Plus 5. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be 13 points of damage.
I thought you rolled an
Okay.
8.
Yeah, I did. Wait,
Your strength is now plus 5.
that's plus 3. Sorry,
Okay.
There it is.
11. 11.
Okay,
Be
so
really strong
it,
character.
8 plus 3, so that's 11.
That's only one attack.
That's only one attack, too. Go ahead and roll me the second attack.
Okay. I got a 7.
7.
8, 9, 10. Yeah.
Is that with all the bonuses and everything?
No, that's just
Yeah.
Okay, that one is unfortunately going to miss. So you end up taking down your halberd, cleaving him across, just straight up along his chest. And right as you're about to go in for kind of like the stab, you can see that he just growls and just kind of like bows to the side, just like narrowly missing your attack anyway.
Okay.
He just sort of like laughs at you. Is there anything else you're doing?
I'm going to. I get a bonus action, right?
Yes.
I'm going to activate my Hunter's Mark spell, and I'm going to cast it onto all the orcs damaged, or is there like an orc that's like not very much damage?
They're pretty much all of the orcs on your ship are damaged except for one. There is one that is unscathed.
Okay, I'm gonna activate my Hunter's Mark on the one that's unscathed, and it'll take for the next hour. It takes up to everybody gets another 1d6 damage on them.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, that's great. Use that.
All right. So you end up looking at the one that's not wounded, and you pretty much just take a mental note, end up studying his little kind of like intuitive like reflexes, and just immediately you have a better idea of how to actually attack him anyway. So with that, we are going to the top of the round, and back to Hilga's turn. Right as you're about to kind of move again, you can feel that your ship, along with seemingly the other vessel, they both shake violently, as if something is beginning to happen. Something might be underneath both ships. What are you doing, Hilga?
Huh. That is interesting.
Well, at least it's not a Japanese DM. That's all I can tell you, Hilga.
Well, I'm proficient in Arcana, so I'm wondering if I would recognize if it's magic or not.
You can probably just make me an intelligence roll, and see
Okay.
what's going on with this necessarily.
Straight 12.
Straight 12. You're not entirely sure what this is, but you get the feeling that it's not necessarily magical. It feels like there's just kind of like this gigantic force that just jolted your entire ship along with that of the orc pirates.
Oh man. Let's see. Do I have any spells that can help with this? Probably not. No, I'm going to save my spells for now. I think I'll just deal with the problem at hand for now.
Okay.
And I'll use my crossbow to shoot one of the Who's the closest orc to me, and how dead do they look?
It's probably the one that's most heavily damaged. He was the one that got hit with the brunt of the orb of fire, the burning sphere.
Flaming sphere.
All right,
whatever.
I'll take a shot at that guy.
All right, go ahead and give me a roll.
19.
19 definitely hits. Just ends up thudding straight into kind of like the side of his chest, right into the armpit.
Ew. That would be 7 damage.
7 damage. As that happens, you can see this orc, right as the arrow just ends up entering, you imagine it probably hits him straight in the vital area, because he lets out a howl and just collapses to the flooring anyway. Dead as a doornail.
Oh, nice.
All right, so that's your action. I believe you still have movement and a bonus action.
I think I will save the bonus. I don't see anything that I need to do yet. I probably want to move away from the fight, as I'm not exactly a fighter.
Yeah, you
so
can
how
see-
far back can I move away from the orcs?
So you do have the upper deck, sort of like along the stern. Anyway, you can try scaling up the steps there. You can probably get like a solid 30, 35 feet up, however
Okay.
much your movement lets you.
sure,
Because there's still
it's
a
30.
little... Okay.
Oh. Yeah, that sounds good. I'll move up away from the fight.
Okay. So you end up gaining like an extra 30 feet away from like the nearest orc. He was already like 10 feet away from you.
Cool.
All right. Next up is Ember.
Maji.
Can I roll for a perception?
Yes. What are you trying to sense? Like what's under the ship?
What's under the ship, and then the more critically wounded orcs.
Okay. I'll count this as a bonus action since you're taking a bit of time to look around anyway.
Okay.
Go ahead and make me a perception check.
All right. It's just a regular D20, right?
It's a D20, whatever your perception bonus is.
Okay.
Yours is a D20 plus 1, Maji.
All right, so I rolled a 10. Well,
10.
with the perception bonus, it's a 10.
With perception bonus, it's a 10? Okay.
Yes.
So looking over overside the vessel just very quickly, you do get the impression of something almost serpentine moving underneath anyway. It almost looks like a serpent's kind of like writhing underneath. Something is very much kind of like undulating. It's unsettling, whatever it is. As for what are you looking for with the orcs necessarily?
The more critically wounded.
Okay, so from what you can tell, it looks like the smaller orc that is wounded is the one that's most critically I'm the one next to the orc that was just killed.
Right. I'm not a warrior, so I'll move further back away from the battle. Can I pull out my sling and try to take out the critically wounded orc? I want to preserve my magic for whatever big is moving towards the ship.
Yeah, so you're backing away, preserving your magic for whatever's moving towards the ship?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What type of magic are you preserving, really?
Well, I think I only have flame magic, don't I? Yeah, most of mine is all firebolts and enchanting.
Okay, so are you trying to focus on what's underneath the ship, or just anything that comes close to you?
You should get that one orc that's kind of in front of Wolf, because he's going to attack Wolf next.
Yeah, that's what the one I was thinking. Is he the one that's critically wounded that my sling
No,
can
that
hit?
one's dead. No, that one's dead now. So we just got one like half wounded.
Okay. Because no, I want to hold off my magic for just for whatever big is revealed, but I do have a sling that I can use right now.
Firebolt is a cantrip. You don't have to preserve that. You can spam it.
I
Oh, I
agree.
can spam my fire?
That's what
Yeah.
cantrip means.
Cantrips, yeah.
Yes.
Cantrips are.
Oh, dude, you just told a pyromaniac she could light shit on fire.
Yeah.
Firebolt is good that way.
It's a good thing I got that control flame spell just in case. Control flame cantrip. So yeah, no, go ham.
All right,
We'll
then I'm
control
going full tiefling and lighting that orc on fire. I guess I'm gonna try to use a firebolt and aim at him.
Okay, go ahead and make me a spell attack roll.
Firebolts.
So I think it's a D20 plus 4. What
Okay.
you're doing.
It is, yeah.
All right, so I got a 9, and then a plus 4 is 13.
13. That is actually just enough to hit it. So the firebolt ends up cascading out of your fist, hitting it squarely in the chest, just like flames just dispersing immediately. Go ahead and roll a D10 for damage.
Okay. 2.
2. Unfortunately, it doesn't do a whole lot, though it certainly seems to annoy the orc at hand.
Is the orc flammable?
Very much so.
Well, then it catches fire.
Not with a 2, I think.
It says if it hits, a flammable object hit by this spell ignites.
So if he's got a little flame on him, like not a big flame, but he's got a
A
fire
little
on him.
brush the shoulder flame.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's very much just kind of like a shoulder flame. Like hits him just kind of like squarely along the chest or the
Perfect.
shoulder area,
Good.
but
That's
there's
a
still
good
some
one.
lingering flames.
Okay.
I don't remember
So
how to do
it
damage with
definitely seems to annoy him until he starts like seeing that he's on fire. He's like, "Ugh, ugh, ugh."
That's awesome.
Are you doing anything else, Ember?
You only caught someone on fire. Are you doing anything else?
You've still got a bit of movement left. I'd say probably another 10 feet.
Is the ship damaged at all? Did I catch that in the perception or no?
I don't think the ship's got hit yet.
I would say that you're starting to hear some groaning noises with the ship. You would probably notice that.
Okay.
Probably from the tentacles.
You said serpent-like.
Yeah. No, I see where this is doing already.
Aha.
My character
gave it
actually
away?
she's just gonna move back and get ready for whatever big's coming. I use message to warn everybody that something big is coming?
Is that a bonus action?
I don't
just
know.
shout
I'm
it out.
asking you. You're the
Let me check what it says for message.
That's an action to do. So technically, since you've already hurled
Well
a
done.
fireball,
Okay.
that was your
Right
action. Right.
but I can yell it though, right?
Yes.
Anybody within range.
Soliloquy is free.
Yep. Okay. So then I'll kind of retreat back for a ranged so that I can keep my range on my firebolt and warn everybody that something big is coming.
All right. So you do exactly that. And with that, upon the end of your turn, you notice that a couple of gigantic tentacles are beginning to spill over the top side of the deck. They're quite large, and immediately they're beginning to envelop the ship. There's very much this loud groaning noise coming from the depths underneath.
Kraken.
And
Now
with
I know
that,
what it's called. Kraken on.
with that, it is back to Shalar.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say abandon ship. And I'm gonna go look for
Not
the
dead
fucking
yet.
rowboat. Wherever the fuck our rowboat is.
Lifeboats? I don't know if they have any.
Let me
Listen,
actually.
I just saw a
The salty swallow is
ginormous
a little
fucking
deep.
tentacle come out of the damn.
I'm going to
ocean.
roll a d20, 50-50. If it's above 50, I would say you all have a rowboat. Otherwise, you don't. Yeah, you have a rowboat.
Yay.
Yeah,
I'm going
but
for a rowboat.
you guys have you guys have a bomb maker on ship and the ship's not damaged yet. I mean, there's still ammunition.
I abandoned ship. I'm going right to the rowboat.
All right.
I'll get the
So-
other little crew members that were with me with the arrows. Come with me.
Wolf sees Shellar just running like a madman towards the lifeboat. Shakes his head.
All right.
Man, I
As
am gonna
you're
light all those kegs on fire next move, man.
as you're seeing all of this going on, you're immediately just booking it straight to the rowboat. Just kind of like, are you climbing aboard, or are you trying to like lower it into the water?
I mean, I'm just getting in it.
Oh, you're just getting into it, so you're climbing aboard.
Yeah, and I'm saying abandon ship.
Okay, so that's your movement. Do you want to do? Are there any actions you want to do, or is that your entire turn?
That's my entire turn.
That's your entire turn. Okay.
What the frick, dude?
And with that, the tentacles end up wrapping up even more so, just kind of like further going across the deck. It's getting to the point where it's even starting to obscure paths to where you can move anyway. And that leads us straight back to the enemies. So the first orc who's wounded, he's going to try and attack you, Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. He is going to go ahead and attack with the gigantic axe in his hands, which I imagine an 8 would miss.
Yeah, my armor class is 13.
13,
Yeah,
so it misses. So you pretty much end up like sidestepping right as he just kind of like does an overhead lunge with his axe, and it just slams into the floorboards. The next one is going to go after Arthas.
Yep.
With his axe. That is an 18 to hit.
I got a 16 armor class.
16 armor class, so that's going to hit. You end up taking 9 slashing damage just as it kind of like just goes straight into your side.
Was he like right in front of me, or did he come into range?
He came into your range.
Okay, well then I get an opportunity attack.
That's only if he goes out of your range.
No, I get because
No,
forearm master out or
Yeah.
I'm
he gets
Polar
attack
Master
opportunity.
allows him to do the opportunity attack when he comes into range.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a roll. See if you hit him.
so D10,
No,
It's going to be a
D20.
D20.
D20. Okay. 1 second. Okay.
It'd
Is
be
this
a
the one that's on
D20 with
fire?
a strength modifier, wouldn't it?
I got a 15. With, that's
15?
15 plus 3.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's definitely going to hit this orc.
Okay. And then I do the D10, right?
Correct.
Right. And that's going to be plus your strength.
Okay. I got 16 plus 3, so it's 19.
19. Oh my lord.
How did you do that on a D10?
So
The most you should be able to roll is a 13.
Give me a second. Let me check that. I thought I rolled a D10. Hear me?
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay, I just want to make sure. I thought maybe it kicked me out again.
No, it's fine.
All right, so I did 11 damage to that orc, but
11
now it's
damage.
yeah.
Still quite a bit, though. Okay. So he still ends up hitting you. You still take the 9 damage as a result.
Okay.
But before he does so, you end up just kind of like rearing up your halberd and just taking like a solid stab right into his shoulder. And it does wound him heavily just from that impact alone.
Okay.
And with that, it's going to be the last orc. So let's see who is in range. He it's going to be the Orog. So he's probably going to go for you as well, Arthas, because he's
Okay.
right next to you. So he is going to
Okay.
make 2 attacks because he is a very large. The first attack is a 20. The second attack is a 15.
So the second attack doesn't hit, but the first attack does.
First attack does. Okay. You end
Yeah.
up taking another 10 slashing damage.
So this person has to get in the range to hit him, because he would get another attack of opportunity if he did.
No, he's sitting right next to me. So he already
Yeah, he's
did
right
that.
next to him.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, along with getting kind of like cut along the front, you're also getting cut from behind as well as you're quickly being flanked. That's going to be their turn though. Right as it does so, you hear another just kind of like this great wailing as some gigantic form is clearly like shaking all of you aboard the vessel anyway. It's not just you, it's also the pirate's ship. And you
That's
can
what I was
hear
gonna
very much just rowdy cries on both sides. Wolf.
So Wolf looks around at this scene and shouts to the crew, Sheller may be a coward, but he's got the right idea. Everyone get on the boat. And then turns
Not
to
a
the
coward.
turns to the one orc that's still in front of him, and puts out his hands. It says burning hands, and does the burning hands attack, which a creature takes 3d6 of fire damage on a failed save and half on a
Okay, you have to make
success,
a
so
dex save.
Yep,
And who are you aiming that to?
The one orc that's still standing in front of me because the other one's dead.
Okay. All right.
The other
We'll
one,
go
it'll be
ahead
the
and
one
make
that Maji shot.
And he ends up making an 18.
So 3d6, right?
Yes. So it's going to be that halved.
Yeah.
And if it's odd, just round it down.
Well, it's 7.
So 7 halved is that's going to be 3 rounded down. So he ends up taking 3 points of damage. It still very clearly hurts him, but
And he's
even
on
so,
fire
he's
again.
just kind of like ducking and dodging out of the way. Unfortunately, right into a tentacle, like he's just kind of like right next to it.
All right, and then in Wolf's bonus action, now that he got the orc to back off, he runs for the boat, the lifeboat with Sheller.
Okay, are you boarding it, or are you trying to lower it down into the water?
I'm gonna stage next to it, wait for the other guys before lowering it down into the water.
Okay, so you're readying in action.
Yeah, I'm readying
Or-
it. I'm readying it.
Okay. Marvolo.
Mavolo is peeks down over the edge of the crow's nest, looks for the orc he just shot at, and loses another arrow at him.
Okay. Let's see. I believe that is the wounded orc.
Big
that
one with the axe.
Oh, the big one with the axe. Okay. Go ahead and make me another shot with the bow anyway.
Ah, wrong chat.
That's how it goes sometimes.
A 7 and a 13. Do I get advantage again?
You're still up in the crow's nest, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you do. You do get advantage.
Okay.
So the highest out of those was a 13, and that, unfortunately, that still misses. So you end up firing another arrow, but it just plinks off the Orog's plate armor. He
Okay.
almost doesn't even seem to notice it. So you still
How
have movement and
far
a bonus
away
action.
from the mast is the lifeboat?
It is on port side, so you're facing starboard. So it would pretty much be the opposite facing way from where you're looking right now, and it's about 30 feet down to actually get there.
Okay, then I slide down the main mast and walk as far towards the lifeboat as I can.
Okay. All right. So doing that, it would be you can slide down as fast as you can, or you can climb down carefully. I'm guessing you're going for the first option.
Yep.
Yeah,
And am I going to regret it?
Go.
All right. Go ahead and make me either an athletics or acrobatics check.
And I have proficiency in neither. Natural 1.
Oh,
Okay.
Josh.
So,
He falls to his death. Game over.
so you end up making it all the way down, but unfortunately, you end up getting batted away by a tentacle halfway down, and just end up slamming onto the deck as a result. And you are going to take. Let's see here. You end up taking 7 bludgeoning damage as a result, just like slamming straight on your back.
Okay.
And you are also
knocked out
prone.
of you.
Wolf cringes. Ooh.
All right. Let's see. That pretty much makes all your movement. So the
Yep,
only
that's
other
it.
thing you can do is a bonus action, if anything.
Yeah, he gonna cry out
Yeah,
in
I
pain.
groan.
Just real in the pain.
And it comes back to Arthas.
All right. You guys said I had a potion, right?
Yes. You should have a
All right.
potion.
Is that a bonus action or is that an action if I try to drink it?
It's an action to try and drink the potion.
Oh, okay. So I have 2 orcs right next to me, and which one has the highest life one?
Which one looks less damaged anyway?
Yeah.
I'm gonna interject, Arthas, to just let you know your rolls have not been good. Fleeing is always an option. Fleeing is an option.
Sure. I also
Yeah, you
have Hunter's
can-
Mark as one of the orcs. I don't know if that's one of the orcs that's next to me or not.
Oh yeah,
Oh, I forgot about the Hunter's Mark.
me
That
too.
is
I thought
true. I forgot about that as well.
he put it on
Uh,
the one that I damaged actually, so it was. But still, I don't think it would have been enough for that 3.
You get an
It's
extra
not the one that you
1d6.
damaged, Trippy. It was the other one that
Ah.
you hunters marked.
The one I lit on fire for 2 seconds?
I thought that
Not
was
that one.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Man,
one that
all
both
these
you and
orcs
Maji
look
attacked,
alike.
that was the one that was already wounded. The one that
Oh.
wasn't wounded before, that was the one who Arthas was actually kind of like trying to fend off.
Hmm.
So what you can do is try downing a potion. You can also take your action to try and flee without provoking any attack of opportunity.
The ship
Which
is being attacked by a Kraken.
I know.
Not gonna last much
All right.
longer.
I'm going to attack one of the orcs that near me. Probably the bigger. How much is there a way to tell like which one is the? I don't know. Which one? Who has my Hunter's Mark? Is what I'm wondering. Is that one of the ones next to me or not?
The Hunter's Mark is against the smaller one that attacked you first.
Okay.
He is also
Alright,
more
I'm
heavily
going-
wounded.
All right. What I'll do is I will attack him with my normal attack, which I have to roll d20 plus 3 plus my proficiency. I got a 13 plus 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I got 18.
18. 18's going to hit the orc. Go ahead and roll damage for your halberd.
All right.
This is the mark
I
one,
got
right?
yes, 7. I got a 7 plus the 3, right? 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 plus the Hunter's Mark gives me a plus 6. I can do,
No, it's a
I can
1d6.
roll. Yeah, 1v6. Yeah. I got 6.
Nice.
Good
All right,
shit.
that's enough to kill him, actually.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, I killed-
refocusing your attention on this one orc, you end up making just another thrust with your halberd, and it just ends up piercing him straight through the heart. He ends up collapsing as it pretty much just doubles over. Your spear still lodged in it before you deftly retrieve it. He's very much dead.
Okay.
There's still the
And for a
Orog at your
bonus
back, though.
I don't know if I can use that. Would I be able to use my smite attack on the other orc or not? Because it says a bonus action, but I don't know if that would don't know if I have to attack it with my.
If it's a bonus action, you should be able to attack him.
Okay, then I'll do that. I'll use my smite, which is. Let me see. I think it's a. Let me look it up real fast. Just want to make sure I got the right smite. There's like 3 different smites it's telling me I have.
Smite. Smite.
Where are you? Talent spells. Here we go. I don't even know if it's an actual spell. I think it's an ability. Let me look it up. It's actually D20. I'm not D20, but the actual other one. I think it's in here.
Let's see. For
Action.
slide anyway.
I think you're talking about. Are you talking about a cleric ability?
It's paladin,
this
I
is
think.
Paladin ability. Okay. Paladin. Smite.
There are smite spells
Okay.
that are a
It's a
bonus action.
2d8. You hit with a melee weapon attack, you expend 1 spell slot to deal 2d8 extra radiant damage.
That's smite.
Okay. Let's see.
I remember that, but I don't remember where I read that at.
Yeah, it's right here. So that looks like it's just the case with a regular attack. So whenever you hit, you can
Okay,
use
so I
that
won't
to
be able
deal
to
extra
do that.
damage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it looks like you can't attack again, at least from what I'm seeing here. All right. So it looks like you have a bonus action left, but you can attack.
Yeah, I see it. Okay.
Is there anything else you're doing, Arthas?
Again, Wolf did kind of shout to the crew to like everyone rally up on the boat. The salty swallow's not going to make it, man.
Where is the gunpowder stored?
Below deck.
All right. I think that's it for me.
Okay. Are you moving or anything, or are you staying put?
I think I'll just stay put because if I try to move, the other orc will have a chance to attack, an opportunity attack. So I'll just wait.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And with the end of your turn at the top of the round, the tentacles all over both ships, they completely wrap over both vessels, and they start to break into pieces. So everyone who's still on the ship and not on the rowboat, go ahead and make me a dexterity saving throw.
I'm right next to the rowboat. All I have to do is hop right on it.
16.
I should have gotten sat next to the coward.
16.
Listen, I
7.
just ain't stupid, Chirpy.
No, I didn't say it was stupid. I said he was a coward, but that's the
Not
right
a
move
coward.
I got a 7.
Seven.
Uh-oh.
That's all
He's
right.
not a coward. He's just cautious.
I got a 17.
17.
Oh,
Okay.
geez,
No.
that's good.
No bonus. I got no bonus though, so I just
Okay.
rolled a 17.
I have no dexterity, so I'm stuck with a 7.
That is unfortunate. So it seems like everyone aside from Ember pretty much is able to keep their footing. So Ember, just the whole tremor of it all, the whole ship's splintering into bits. You end up kind of like landing on your back because of it. You don't take any damage or anything. You're just prone for the moment. So to get back up, that'd be like half your movement. I'm also going to make a couple rolls for the remaining enemies. Ooh, they are not good.
They're down. Enemy down.
So, Arthas, the orc that's
Yeah.
right next to you, the very burly one, right as he's about to strike again, the flooring out from under him ends up crumbling, and he pretty much just ends up cascading straight off the side of the ship into the waters below.
Oh, nice.
As for the other orc, he isn't completely as bad. Like he ends up kind of like nearly falling off as well, but he's hanging on by his fingers anyway. So he's just trying to get up anyway. But Hilga, you are still standing. What do you do?
How far is it to the lifeboat if I can get to it?
The lifeboat for you already backed up, didn't you? So
Yeah, I went up the.
it's about 40 feet away from you. You can try dashing to double
Right.
up your speed, but that's the only way you can make it.
One more level, and I would have another spell I could use.
Yeah. How close is Maji to me?
Maji is about 15 feet away from you.
All right. I think I have a plan.
Uh-oh.
It's not a good plan.
Oh, I'm thinking I'm cooking. You might not like the plan I'm cooking.
Oh crap!
Not a
Do
good
I
plan.
even want to
It's the
help you
best
then?
plan.
Up to you.
Only one way to see what happens.
Well,
I had to
what-
look it up to see if I could do it.
What do you have in mind?
I'm scared. I was gonna go pick her up, but now I'm kind of scared. Can I see what she's doing? Does it scare me?
Maji, what are you doing?
I'm gonna actually invoke one of my long spells and do Hellish Rebuke in hopes of igniting the gunpowder and getting the Kraken to release what's left of the ship.
Okay, so typically Hellish Rebuke is like once you take damage. That's kind of like a reaction to it.
Oh, I thought it was because
Right.
I was pinned down. I could use it.
No.
Damn.
Thank goodness.
You can use the firebolt for
Get on the-
that.
Hey,
Get on
Bob,
the
do
lifeboat
something that will damage me.
It's gonna blow up the ship. Everybody run!
I mean,
I could do an unarmed strike as I run by you.
just kick
Would
her
Would
while
that
she's
count,
down.
Otter?
So usually whenever you're doing Hellish Rebuke again, it's against the person who's damaging you.
Let's not do that then.
No.
I don't
Why
wanna
don't
have
you just
Hellish
run up to
Rebuke
one of
on
those
me.
tentacles and slap your face in it, you know?
Right now I'm laying on the ground because I have no balance.
Balance, yeah, she got knocked over when that thing happened.
Oh, I know what I can do.
Hmm.
I think. Should be able to do that. Oh, yeah, I can. All right. I'm going to run by Maji's character and
Okay.
do an enhance ability, which is a touch spell. So
Yeah.
all I have to do is touch her.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can give her Cat's Grace to give her a bonus to dexterity.
Get her
Then
back
way
up
she
there.
can
Donald
probably save
Trump
her
on
own butt. And then I'll
There you go.
keep going.
So it's not going to affect her speed at all. That's the only thing.
No, I don't. Can I do something about speed? Maybe. Let me see.
Hey, if that enhances my ability, though, that would enhance my fireball that I could try to light the gunpowder.
Why do your character just got like a death wish or some shit?
No, my
only gives
character
bonuses to
actually has
checks.
a
It doesn't
fire
do anything for
resistance.
speed.
Yeah, it's a fire resistance, not an immunity.
So I'm
Or
trying. So
illusion.
your firebolt is normally a spell casting attack. So
Uh-huh.
if dexterity is what affects that, then yeah, that would actually work. Otherwise, it wouldn't do anything.
It
I
shouldn't
think it's
be.
Arcana.
No, it doesn't affect firebolt. Sorry. It only if he gives you Cat's Grace, it only helps with saving throws and ability checks for dexterity.
Right. So I don't even know if it'll actually help her at all.
It's every man for himself. Get to the
All
battle.
I'm raising my hand. You have 5 seconds to figure out a plan. 5.
All right. Sorry, I'm just gonna dash past you
That's fine.
because it's
All
not
right.
gonna do anything to help you.
Dashing past. It's just enough distance to actually make it to the boat. Are
Yay.
you getting on board the boat, or are you staying at the side?
I'll get on the boat.
All right, get on the boat without any issue. Next up, Ember.
All right, so my character's laying on the ground while the squid is attacking everything, huh?
Yep.
Get up and go. 2
Yep.
moves.
I'm gonna get up and go, casting a firebolt behind me, trying to ignite the gunpowder that's now loose.
3
Okay.
moves. I don't know if
So
we can do that.
I'll let you know about this. The getting up takes half your regular movement. So I think your movement is 30 feet. So you would have 15 feet to go. I think you still need about like 25 feet to actually get to the boat. So you could shoot a fireball behind you, and it would probably ignite some gunpowder, but you would not be on the boat. Otherwise, you could try and dash and get on the boat, but it'd be next turn that you could actually try firing.
Come on. YOLO, Maji, blow up the boat. Blow
I'm
up the
gonna
boat.
blow up the damn boat.
Blow up the boat.
Oh,
Is that what you're doing?
I'm gonna blow up the boat. Let's blow
Maji,
it
yes.
up.
YOLO.
All right. So first off, I assume you're running. So you're getting up, you're running.
Mm-hmm.
All right. As a bonus action, make me a perception check to try and find a good flammable part of the ship.
I got an 18.
18. Yes.
Yes.
So there isn't any gunpowder around, but there is just kind of like a grating below you. You can see just there, especially where the ship's been shaken up a bit. There is a few kind of like trailing wisps of gunpowder anyway that you can see that will likely ignite towards the powder kegs.
All right, I'm gonna do it. I blow
All
up
right.
the boat.
Go ahead and make me a roll. It's going to be a d20 plus 4.
I got a 14.
14. I'm going to say that's enough. So, just as that's happening anyway, you can hear the familiar hiss of gunpowder just like fizzing off anyway. Quickly going to the powder keg anyway. It is not immediate, just enough for the next turn to come about. Shalar, are you doing anything while shit is about to hit the fan here?
Listen here, Wolf. Big fucking tentacles come up doesn't mean you're a coward. I was wanting to fight the orc. Big giant tentacles, no.
Nah, just means you're a pussy.
Your ass ran to this boat without even killing the orcs, bitch.
I fought them.
I fought them too.
I killed him.
Right
Wow.
as
I killed one too.
right
Why
as
don't
you
you
all
shut
are
up and
boarding
watch
the
the boat
boat,
blow up?
you also can see that several of the crew are trying to come aboard as well. Specifically, Rickert, who had hired you. He's like, "Wait for me! Try and get me on!" He's like just trying to like scramble up. He jumps up to the boat, but he's just like hanging by his fingertips.
We have
Well,
the
fella,
map
you
he
wanna
gave
prove you're a
us,
hero?
don't
You
we?
want to save him? It's your move.
Do we
Yeah,
still
save
need him?
so we can extort him later.
Wow, you guys are such heroes.
Well, if they're playing chaotic evil or chaotic neutral, it would work.
Well, technically, I'm a chaotic neutral, so
Technically, Shalar, it's your decision. What do you choose to do?
I asked him if we get a bonus.
Oh my god!
Just arms crossed. Is it worth it?
Go ahead and give me a
Excellent.
persuasion check with advantage.
Wolf is face palming.
Hold up. Roll.
Oh my god, that's a natural 20. You hear Rickard just going, "Yes, I'll pay double. Just anything. Just let me get aboard."
It's
Nice.
not persuasion.
All right, we let him aboard.
Go get him.
You end up pulling him aboard. He's like, "Thank you. Oh, I nearly lost me limbs there. And right as that happens, so I believe it is also Arthas and Ember who are still aboard the boat, not on the
Marvola.
rowboat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Marvo's still going. "Ugh."
Yeah, Marvola's
Yeah,
on the
he's
ground,
still
too.
prone
really
near
Oh,
the
in there.
marsh.
Marvolo.
So, and I'm just right next to it. So I'm
Okay,
about to
so
hop
it's
on.
the three of you as well. Okay, so with that, right as the tentacles are pretty much just like pulling apart this entire ship, that explosion goes off. First off, rocking the entire rowboat
Uh,
that you're on. So I'd like everyone to make dexterity saving throws.
ah,
Dude,
boy.
I'm already screwed.
Why do you
16.
Let's go.
Shit.
I suck.
I have 5.
natural
Oh,
20.
nat 20.
Oh my god,
23 for me.
these are all some pretty good rolls.
I got a 5. I'm screwed.
Oh no.
You've got advantage. You can roll
Wait,
twice.
Maji, how are you on the rowboat? You wouldn't have to make a dexterity saving throw.
That's
No, I'm
true.
on the ship with a 5.
Arthas, what was your dexterity roll?
Natural 20.
Natural 20, okay. So this is going to be a bit interesting because with you and also Marvolo technically rolling natural 20s, even though you're still on the ship and you're getting like pushed outward by the actual explosion, I'm going to say you're technically not taking any damage, even though it's like quite the brisk kind of like hit to actually get into the ocean.
They're on like extra thick planks of wood protecting them from the explosion
Yeah,
behind them.
Yeah, it's
and then
very
being
much
ejected
that
on it.
case. Just kind of like fate being on your side. Ember,
Kindle.
on the other hand, is going to take some fire damage, unfortunately.
So that's good.
I deserve it. It's
Well,
worth
you
it.
have a resistance to fire, right?
I do.
So
No,
you
we're
take
good.
half damage.
So you end up taking 21 points of damage, but that's halved. So 10
Oh my
points.
god.
So
Depending
you're
on
Hey,
how
I
much
have
health you
healing
would have in
potion.
an instant.
so you're being kind of like catapulted straight under this crate. Like you're immediately engulfed in fire, but also pushed out,
Mhm.
just as the remainder of the ship just goes just into fiery pieces. You end up landing in the water, just kind of like seared across several places. Anyway, I'm assuming you're still alive, though.
I think so. How many health
11
points
damage?
do I have?
What's
It's 10 points
oh, 10
that she
points.
took.
You have.
Hopefully.
Okay, that's not right. Your paper's wrong. Let's see.
Hit points, D10.
Just a second. You're level 3, and you have D8. So. Ooh, that was a good roll. So that was okay. 16, 17. You have 21 hit points.
Just takes half damage. That makes sense.
No, that's what she had. So yeah,
Yeah.
you lost. You're at 11 right now. Then.
Okay.
It's all good.
I'm not too worried. I have potion and medicine
Yeah, we got
abilities.
potions. Yeah,
so
we're all
we're
good.
good.
And we can heal. And we're
So
healers.
pretty much your fire resistance ended up saving your
Yeah.
hide from this.
Pretty much.
Yep.
All right. So all of you end up landing straight into the ocean. Those of you who are on the rowboat, I mean, the screenshot almost says it better than I can. It's just like all of you kind of like on this rowboat. Whatever ropes are still there, you quickly detach them or just cut them with your weapons anyway.
Yeah, we can roll onto it.
And the rest of you just kind of like scramble, and after a few minutes, end up swimming aboard as well. But from behind you, you can see that atop from what remains of the Salty Swallow, along with the
Rest in
Orc
peace.
vessel, you see that your ship is pretty much all decimated immediately. Though even still, it seems to harm this Kraken or squid or whatever it is quite a lot. Part of its gigantic hide is just seared across. But even so, the other Orc pirate ship is just like slowly being like torn apart as well. With that hulking large figure just like in the backdrop, you steadily make your way onward to land.
Oof.
Anybody want to eat some calamari?
Can we see orcs in the water?
Go ahead and make me a perception check.
Excuse me.
Not from what you can see. It's too murky. The water is just there's too much chaos going on. It's too hard to tell much of anything in these waters.
That was a great move, Maji. Good job.
I figure now is probably a good time for a quick bio break for all of us
Yeah.
to catch our breaths.
I think so too. I'll break after that. Jeez.
All right. So we'll probably just all be on mute for this. So we'll be back here in about 5-10 minutes, and then we'll pick up the game from there.
Yep.
All right. See
All right.
everyone in a bit.
Okay.
row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
Merrily, merrily, merrily. Krakens, but a dream.
Fuck that Kraken, dude.
Kraken got fucked up. Kraken
All
fucked
right.
with the wrong crew.
All
Who's,
right, I have
who's
returned.
back? Billy and Trippy.
Did I ever make it to the boat or land? Or am I
No.
still in the ocean half dead?
No,
Each of
everyone
you
on
made it to the boat. This is probably something I should tell Arthas. Arthas, are you wearing like plate armor or something?
I got chainmail. Yeah, chainmail.
Oh, chainmail. Okay,
Sadly, I'm wearing scale mail.
scale mail. Okay.
How heavy is that? Is there like a weight limit to where you can't swim?
Well, it's really more to the idea that it's like technically metal armor causes you to sink.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, that's actually not an issue.
It's a strength check.
That
believe.
would make sense. So,
I have no strength.
I have
don't
lots
worry
of
about
strength.
Don't worry about
Well,
drowning.
I have some good news for you, Maji.
Huh.
You are still under Bardic Inspiration, so you can still get yourself a bonus if you need it.
That's true.
Ah.
I right now need to find a moment to pop that potion before I die.
I mean, it would also make sense that before you all properly sank, that the rowboat probably came by and picked you all up. Unless you all are just really don't care.
Nah, we pick them up.
Okay.
No, I know. That's what I kind of figured.
I mean,
Okay.
if Maji looks really, really bad, I can easily cast Healing Word. Like, that's an easy spell for me to cast. It takes a second.
Yeah, same
I
here.
think they blasted me from the ship into the rowboat.
Just comes falling out of the sky, boom, right into the boat.
Oh man.
Maybe that's where the damage came from, landing in the damn boat.
Yeah, see, I got cure
So,
wounds.
like,
We got all sorts of healing stuff going on here. We don't really need to use those potions. Let's hold
And
on to
then,
those
and
potions.
then I got alchemy medicine, so once
Yeah.
we get on land, I can
Potions
easily
for
medicine.
emergencies.
Well, also,
I can play goldfish in the meantime for you, Maji.
oh, I don't know what that's about. I should have a spell. If I can find it on here. I might have to get the book because I don't see it on the page here. But there's supposed to be something a bard can do to help people heal when they're resting.
It might be a feat or something like that.
Nah, like I said,
On there, I don't know why.
there's enough
it's not.
healers here that if we all just focus heal on one person, we'll probably get your health back up 100% easy.
That's true.
We also can rest. If we rest,
Assuming
You know,
Shalar
it-
doesn't kick my ass for blowing up the boat.
There it is. Song of Rest. So if I play soothing music and it's for a short rest, everyone gets an extra 1d6 hit points. Which is not bad.
Cool.
All right. Are we all here?
I think so.
I'm here.
Okay.
okay.
Yep.
And with that, I would say following kind of like the whole catastrophe of the salty swallow, sadly being swallowed by the sea, you each make your way by boat, and the shadow upon the horizon only gets larger, disproving the notion that it was merely an illusion. Before long, you find that it is most certainly land that you come across, and you finally pretty well arrive at just kind of like a barren shoreline. There's bits of flotsam that just ends up kind of like wafting along the shoreline along with you, like little bits of supplies here and there. But aside from that, it's just you. Maybe the odd corpse that was once part of your crew, but it's really just a barren shoreline from what you can immediately see. So what do you guys do?
Mavolo jumps off the boat and wades to the shore, uses prestidigitation to dry his clothes, and starts looting the corpses.
Okay. Just immediately as you jump off, it's kind of like Aang from Avatar. You just immediately just kind of like waft your clothes, and just with a simple flick, they're dry, dry as a bone. And with the corpses, go ahead and make me an investigation check to see what you find.
5.
5. You really just find a couple of copper pieces. It's not much.
Pocket lint.
It really is just pocket lint. What are the rest of you doing?
So Ricketts on the boat, right?
Yes, Rickard is
Yeah,
on the boat.
that's-
He looks
Wolf-
very shaken up, though. It's
Wolf
only
turns to
him and a couple other crewmates who actually made it along with you guys.
Was that their boat? That was like he was like the owner of that ship. He was the captain.
Technically, the boat was yours.
Oh yeah, we all bought it, huh?
You blew up my boat!
Yeah, rest in pieces, Salty Swallow.
Nikolai, are you just screaming that off the shore?
I scream at Ember.
So Wolf just looks at Rickett and says, "So is this the island map? For? Is this the place?"
You can tell he's still kind of like trembling somewhat as he's looking at you. He's like, I believe this is it. Otherwise, we're on a completely remote island, so either way, it's at the least it's worth exploring anyway. I'm not entirely sure if this is it or not, but my hunch tells me that we are likely here on Kraken Island.
Your
I
hunch is good
imagine
enough for
our
me.
experience with a Kraken only supports that theory.
I agree. How far into the treasure?
I don't know. We're on the shoreline. That treasure map showed that the treasure was likely in the center of the island.
Should we use the map to figure out where we are on the island?
Yeah, certainly. You can see that the landscape just kind of like sprawls on from here. You can try giving me a perception check to see kind of like what's in the surrounding area too. Either a perception or a nature check. One of the
Let me
two.
do a nature check. Yeah, since I'm the
I'll do
druid,
a
I have
nature check as well.
Okay.
So
I don't have nature.
my character has a thingy towards how to get food and supplies. Does that apply here, or how does that work?
Yes,
Is
it would
a
actually.
natural ability?
It would actually apply very much because you all are stranded and in the middle of the wilderness, and what remained of your additional supplies, aside from what you have on your persons, it's all gone.
Whose turn is it?
I do have survival, so
If you want to go ahead and go, it's up to you. Yeah, turns only apply when it comes to combat.
Gotcha.
Wolf
So
and Rick
my
are like looking
character,
around.
Ember realizes she is hurt and they're stranded, mainly because of her. Feeling bad, she looks around and tries to find plants for medicine as well as potential food sources for the crew.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a nature check with advantage for that. As for both Wolf and Shalar, you all end up kind of like taking a general survey around the landscape. It isn't long before you're able to get a general layout among the island itself. You go so far inland, just kind of like following what seems to be the natural lay of the land, and you even seems to resemble a beaten path. Just
Does
kind of
this
like
roll have
there.
a bonus, or is it just a regular 20 roll?
It's just going to be a regular 20 roll. You roll it twice and take the higher result.
Okay. I got a 10 and a 19. I'm taking the 19.
Yep. So the 19 is a natural roll?
Yes.
All right. So what's your nature bonus?
What would that be under?
It should
It'd be
just say
under your-
nature.
It'd be under your skills.
Did we lose King Bob?
Is King Bob out?
Yeah, it looks like we're
I'll
minus
add him
one,
back.
Hey, I'm back.
Sorry about that, King Bob. I didn't realize you had left there for a second.
I
I'm
don't see a
saying-
nature
and that should be a
bonus, so I
survival roll,
might
and no
not
one's listening
have
to me.
one.
If it isn't there, it would just be your intelligence bonus.
Okay.
No, she has a +1 to nature.
Okay, it'd be +1 then.
I'm glad you guys can find this. I can't.
I mean,
I've
part of
done
it's just
D&D
getting
for
used
years.
to 5e.
Yeah.
So that would be an unnatural 20. So yeah, judging between all of you, Maji, you're able to find pretty much like a 2 days rations worth per person. So about 12 rations overall. to
And I
last you.
still have a hunter's trap too, so
Yes, you do.
I better hang on to that in case food supplies runs low, huh? I don't know how that works. Is it a one-time
worry
use thing, or can I repeatedly use it?
It's up to you. If the rules don't explicitly say it, it really just comes down to logic.
No, I might as well put that out just in case we could get some meat or fur.
Do you want to do that as part of your hunting? Technically, you've already wrapped up hunting for the day.
Oh no, I'll save it for tomorrow then. I need a heal.
All right. So each of you end up getting an extra 2 days worth of rations per person. Along with that, you quickly find a sort of like crudely beaten path in the landscape, along with just having a nice survey of the surrounding area. So if we go here, actually, you can see
How much did the medicine heal for?
that a path goes out along this way.
Might want to save the medicine. We can. What time of day is it right now? Like early?
From what you can see right now, it's probably early in the morning. It would still be dark out. From what you can tell, probably about 3 or 4 a.m.
We could do a short rest. We could find a spot and do a short rest near where we landed, and put up some watch until like daytime. That way, people can heal up.
Oh, did I lose you guys?
No.
I'm here.
Ah,
No.
okay.
I'm sorry. I'm checking out the treasure maps, trying to see exactly where we from the crash site, so I know exactly where we're at.
Oh no, you're good.
Not that matters too much, but okay. Now I can see.
I'm looking up your question because I don't remember how it works.
I also
We're gonna take a
hadn't.
short rest. Yeah, we can take a short rest. How long is it?
Okay.
Yeah, how long is the short rest?
Short
short
rest
rest
is
hours. It's only an hour. Long
Yeah.
rest
Yeah.
lasts 8 hours.
Yeah, so we could do a short
I thought
rest.
a short rest was 4 hours.
short rest is 4 hours, but it also depends on your race.
I think it'd be a great time for a
Short
short
rest was
rest.
only 1 hour. Maybe I got it
It
wrong.
was short or long rest. If we long rest, we're full. I think they're already fully healed, and all our spells and stuff are back. Or
Yeah, that's a full rest.
yeah, we might.
I'm also
you guys
putting
want to do
some
a full rest?
tokens out here for you all to choose from because that was one thing I actually forgot about.
I will double check it for you though. But I'm pretty sure we always did short rest was 4 hours, except with like elves, we don't need a full rest, and other.
No, I think in
Characters.
5e short rest is 2 hours.
I'm
I'm
looking it up now. Well, tieflings have the same amount of rest time as everyone else, so that's good. I'm looking up rest time, but it's not showing anything.
186.
Oh, I forgot I was supposed to add like a +3 to the initiative roll.
No, it's fine.
It just
it's
says
done and done.
at least 1 hour.
Yeah, so a short rest is typically 1 hour. Long rest is 8 hours.
At least 8 hours.
Yeah, you can technically go longer if you want.
Okay, so yeah, the short rest would be better because we don't have to do at least 8. Because I don't want to do a long rest.
So what the short rest means is you roll whatever your hit die is, and you get that back in your hit points.
Yeah,
plus your
and look,
Constitution modifier.
And that's
and
what
you
Maja
each
needs.
get 3 of your own hit die. Think of it kind of like little healing potions. That's basically just you patching yourself up. Whenever you use one, you end up healing that much what you roll, along with your Constitution modifier. And you're slowly pulling from that until you replenish it with a long rest, if that makes sense. So it's a
Yeah.
resource.
We should all have 3 of them basically, because we're all level 3. But since I also am the bard, you also get the +1 d6, because I will play music while we're doing the rest.
That is true.
And this only applies during the rest?
The music,
The healing thing.
yeah, the healing's only for while you're resting.
Yeah.
So
Be nice if I had a buff.
And while you're all resting, you all can, if you all have a token that looks cool to each of you, just kind of like hold it down with like a mouse click or something. That'll actually put a focus on it. I can add it to each of your characters, or just keep it there.
let's see.
Which one is? Who was pointing at this? Trippy.
Wolf, yeah.
All
course.
right,
Of course, that one.
that makes sense.
None of these look like me. I'll take that one.
I cannot
like pointing
interact with the token.
All right.
Yeah, just give
That
me
one
the
is-
purple one. Because
purple
I ain't got a
one?
mouse, so.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's for Shalar.
I'll
Sorry, I
take
should have
the-
done this before the stream.
I'll take the red wizard.
Red Wizard. All right.
Red Wizard, me. I'm the Red Wizard.
I'll put him aside as well.
Oh, are you the
Marvolo.
red wizard?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to be the blue wizard.
Looks like, there's a blue wizard with a little. Is that wand or a sword they're holding? That's a weird token.
Looks like
the
a
one's in the
wand.
turquoise, the one that's pointing.
Oh, the turquoise one? That's a sword.
You know what? I'll
That
be
one?
the shield with the whip just for the hell of it.
Oh, this one? This one, Maji?
The yellow shield with the whip.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah,
Just
that
talking
guy.
about that one.
Oh, okay, I see.
That's
I'll
that's
I'll
not a
go
whip.
ahead and save that one.
I think it's supposed to be a mace. It looks like a whip.
It's a mace. It's a mace and chain.
It's like a flail. Yeah.
Yeah, flail. That's the word.
Okay. I could mess with it, but I don't know. I'll just set it to the side for the moment.
It's
All
fine.
right.
I
What
don't
do we got
like.
left?
I know that's Maji. Right. All right, and so that's half of everyone. Is there any other tokens anybody
Yep.
would like to use?
Marvolo, the guy with the bow.
Guy
the
with the
green one.
bow. This one?
Yep.
All right. I'll go ahead and add him really quickly. And sorry, guys, for everyone who's watching the stream. This is just something that we're doing really quickly just to make life easier for us a little later onward.
Mm-hmm. Arthas needs a pick.
There we go. It would just be Arthas and King Bob.
Just give me one of the knights, I guess.
One of the knights. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll go with this one.
Want to play some D&D? Huh? Add cuteness to the sheet. Huh?
All right, and I think it's just King Bob
That's
left.
me. None of them look like girls. That's not right.
Let
Sexist
me.
gay.
No,
That's
no,
why I
it's
chose the
fucking
one
gay.
that looked like it had a
I feel
whip.
like that one's the most feminine of them all. For some
There's
reason.
a few
Oh,
more.
no, there was
feminine
no black ones. This is racist.
Are you right? There you go.
We just need to mark Roll20 as white supremacist.
Seriously. Yeah, that works.
Okay.
Last thing I
mean,
want is the Twitter
I'm an
war
orc, but
with
whatever.
D&D.
All right. I'll put this along with Maji's. And we'll just remove the others here.
Rock
Okay.
and roll.
All right. So you all are right around here anyway. I'll actually use Maji's token just to denote where you all are along the path here. And from what you can see, sort of like a little ways along the path, there is a fork in the road. One goes due north, the other seems to go south and curves on west.
Is it a fork like in a Muppet movie?
So
Is there a way we can do rock,
No one
paper,
has seen that?
scissors to choose which way to go?
Wolf just pipes up. We're going north.
Wouldn't we want to look at the map?
I already did. We're going north.
Ah, well then there you go. I concur with that assessment.
Technically, you all can move him now. I just made him to where he can be controlled by you.
Sweet. Wait. I can't. How?
Yeah, how?
Wait, let me... Controlled by all players.
Right clicking.
Wait, try and drag him.
No, you should be able to. With that's what I was doing with Robo in Star Shatter campaign. You right click and drag him, I think, or yeah, left click and drag. You have
Weird.
to be on it. Yeah.
None of those are working for me.
Select
It says...
I can
I-
move mine.
Oh, you can move yours?
what the what setting do you have that's different?
I don't know. I just held it down and dragged the thing.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
I have a feeling it might be a roll 20 kind of thing. Some of it might be latency. Because it shows that it should be controlled by everyone.
Well, now I can't move it again, so probably.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Let's say it's a roll 20 thing.
All right. Do you all want to go north or southwest?
North.
Yeah, sure. North is fine.
North. That was
Yeah,
not
no.
me who moved it.
That was me. I was playing around. Sorry.
She can move hers. The rest of us are screwed.
All right. So you end up coming up to another fork here in the road. So
going
you have
west.
a choice of either going west or northeast.
We're going
Wait,
west.
who has the map?
We all have
We
the
all
map.
do.
I would first like to make a perception check and check for traps or anything lying in ambush.
Okay.
Well, we're on
Go
a
ahead
beaten
and give
path.
me a perception check.
9.
Well, in
9.
yeah.
So it's really hard to tell what's up further along the road, whether there's any traps or anything. Looking around a bit further, though, you can see a bit farther along that there seems to be some sort of like ancient ruin structure up ahead here.
Cool.
Not only that, to your right, there seems to be some sort of camp, from what you can tell.
I would like to make a history check if I recognize the ruins.
Okay. Let's see, with a 12. From what you can tell, anyway, just you're not close up to the ruins at all. You're still some distance out. But from what you can see here, it doesn't seem to match any history that you're aware of, anyway. The ruins seem to be incredibly ancient. You would probably have to get a closer inspection to really get any idea of what's going on.
Wolf says that's the place. We're going there.
What, the ruins?
Yes.
Cool.
Okay. Are you going straight up to it? Or what are you doing?
Did we ever take a short rest? Or did that apply? Did
Yeah, we
Marcy
took
get
a short rest. Did everyone
Yeah.
heal?
How much have I healed for?
Uh, Maji, you would roll a D8 and a D6.
Okay, let me see.
And her constitution modifier.
Oh,
Her
really?
constitution modifier is 0, so
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you said a D8 and a D6?
Yep.
D8 is 7, D6 is 6.
I believe you took 10 points of damage plus what?
Wait, what do we do?
She's healing.
Heal?
Yeah, she's full again.
Yeah, you should be full.
She should be.
What did I say your hit points were? 23?
I thought it was 21. Is it 21?
21.
Yep, 21.
How do I heal again? Is it 8 plus 6?
It's you're a paladin, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be a
Paladin.
D10 for your hit die, I
There
think.
you go.
Double check that everyone that took damage is healing right now.
I'm looking just to be sure.
So if you
Woohoo,
wanted
I'm
to use a hit die to
dead.
heal, it would be a
My
D10.
random act of stupidity.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to
1d10 plus
heal
con.
as a paladin, it would be a D10 plus your Constitution modifier plus an extra D6 for the song that was ended up being played by Hilga.
Can I break off when they're going to the ruins? Can I go towards the orc camp?
Yeah.
Is that,
you could.
are you actually doing that?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
Anyone
right
else
as
wants
you all
to
are just
Bye,
beginning
nice
to
knowing
take the
you.
left path, Shalar just ends up taking the right path instead.
Okay.
Shalar, where the hell are you going?
Whittling away on a piece of
There
wood. I
seems to
picked
be a
up.
camp.
Yeah,
I'm
I
almost
can see it.
Tinkering
But
along
the
the way.
treasure's in the ruins.
Wouldn't you like to know what's in that camp?
No,
you
I would
find
like
the
to get
treasure?
our objective done. The treasure. Ruins.
Well,
Where are you going?
I don't want to get robbed when we come out of the
While
ruins,
those two are
so I'm gonna go
arguing,
check
my
this
character
camp.
finds a nice little round log that could tinker away
Yeah.
while
Checking a
All right.
camp might be a good idea.
Enjoy being a sacrifice.
Toodaloo.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to interject here. Yeah, you're coming with us.
Nah, I'm not.
I just rolled a persuasion check and got a nat 20. You're coming with us.
That doesn't necessarily apply to Shalar's decision making.
It should.
Really?
He does make a convincing argument, though.
You'd have to roll higher than me. Good luck.
I know, I was gonna say. What if we get another net 20? Pretty fucking great.
Okay, I'll roll persuasion then.
Ooh, I don't think you won
God
that.
damn it.
6.
Not even close to a
A
26.
minor verbal argument takes place, but during all of this, Hilga does end up making the better arguments, like pretty well consistently throughout. Going straight to the island ruin seems to be like the more logical solution.
Do I have
Beginning
to
of the-
still agree with it? I can still go off, even though I'm a little pissed off.
You can still go off
Yeah.
if that's what you want. I'm not going to stop you,
Yeah,
man.
I'm going to the orc camp.
Okay,
All right.
if that's what you want to do. We're
Wolf just
splitting the
face
party.
palms and shakes his head. Fuck him.
All right,
I
go.
could probably
so
charm him,
so
but
you're
I don't
going
want
straight to the orc camp. Is anyone going with you?
I'll go with him.
All
Are
right.
you stealthy?
No. I'm
Part
not.
of me wants to sit in the road and just continue to freaking whittle away at my next project.
That's it. The fellowship has failed.
Oh, we don't like.
it. That's brilliant.
That was quick.
No, I'll
right.
go with Wolf.
I'll go ahead and make a separate token. There we go.
Yeah, I'll go with Wolf while I'm just carving in the back of the line, not paying attention.
Oh, great.
Ugh.
Hey, my
Are y'all
carving
stealthy
ability-
at all?
My carving ability saved us against the
I'll
pirate.
stay back, but I'll let you go forward. Scout out the area.
Let me take a
let's
couple
see.
of notes.
I'm really just going to look and see what's at this camp. And let's say what type of orcs they are.
Well, if you
The
want to do
angry, murderous kind of orcs. Is there another kind?
I'm a half orc. Back off, dude.
So Shalar
Okay,
and
you're
Arthas
only
are both going to the
50%
orc camp.
murderous.
Is that right?
was that?
Well, what was that?
Shalar and Arthas are both going to the orc camp. That's right.
Apparently.
Well, he wants to scout ahead and be stealthy, so I'll stay back.
Okay.
I'll wait to
So-
see what he says.
So both of you are going to the orc camp, but you're hanging back.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And as for the rest of you all, are you just going straight to the island ruins, or what are you doing?
Yeah, Wolf is a man on a mission.
Okay. I'm guessing that's speaking for all of you, or am I wrong?
That's
Yeah.
fine,
just-
but I don't want
I'm
to be like,
dawdling behind the rest of the group, just carving away.
I'm
Okay.
paying
Molo
attention to
follows
my
Wolf.
surroundings. I'm not walking in like an idiot.
Okay. All right. And with that, we will go ahead and split this up, which is always fun.
Oh, joy.
So let's see. We'll go with the orc camp first.
Yes, go with the orc camp. I'm curious about the orc camp. Let's go with the orc camp.
Okay. So as you're all kind of like going along this path, kind of like making your way through the brush and everything, because it's densely overgrown jungle here. It ends up being pretty well kind of like light. The whole day ends up going by, and it steadily turns to dusk. So as you're all kind of coming closer to this orc camp, you can just kind of like begin to see sort of like a faint orange glow in the shadows. It seems to be filtered kind of like in between two like hills, which seems to be in sort of like a smaller version of the ruins themselves anyway. Further onward though, you can hear kind of like just rowdy shouts. There seems to be a hint of frustration there as well. And I believe it's just Shalar. Shalar, what are you doing? Because Arthas is hanging back.
I guess I'm going to try to... Is there a way I can get close up, without being seen and survey it even more?
Yeah, you can try making me a stealth check.
Yeah, hopefully it don't roll like shit.
We'll see how it goes.
Roll like shit.
God damn it!
Are you proficient in
roll.
stealth?
That was a fucking 3.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah.
All right.
It's an 8, but,
Even
with
so,
efficiency.
go ahead and make me a perception check as well.
Alright, hold up.
Okay. I would say 10 is just enough. Any less and you would not have heard this. So you're trying to creep along the bushes as best you can anyway. And you end up coming sort of like towards the outline of this very crudely made orc camp. It seems like the ruins around here, very, very old. You're not even sure of their origin. Even so, what orcs are here, they almost seem to look like remnants of the ship that attacked you. A lot of them seem to just hold that sort of like ruffian look to them. And there's even some salvage kind of like piles scattered about, along with some tents that are crudely erected. There's several fires that are festooned about, and you can hear just like a few of the orcs saying, "Well, do we still have Big Mama with us at least? Aye. If there's any blocked passages that come against us, against the ruins, or if there's any heavy resistance, there's that at least. I imagine those Sahagin wouldn't know what hit them then." And right as you're hearing this, your foot ends up coming over a twig, makes a loud snapping noise, and one orc is like, "What is that? Is someone lurking there in the shadows?" What do you do?
It's got to roll for initiative.
I'm going to
Not
try to
necessarily.
sound like an orc. Be like, I'm making my routine checks.
Okay.
Because he still can't see me. It's in the dark.
So
Let's see.
Persuades.
Go ahead.
Should be persuasion.
Yeah, go ahead and make me a deception check.
Well, there you go. That's a good
They
one.
still have it? Oh, yeah, they do still have that.
Please don't roll like shit. Roll 20.
Come on.
Not only
Oh my god!
Not only that, tell me what you say, and I want to see what your orc impression is for these guys.
Oh god.
Yeah, let's see the voice, Billy.
Hold up. I'm just making an inspection around the perimeter.
That sounded like
With the
freaking
voice.
Yoda on crack.
Yeah,
Like-
orc.
Yeah, orc. Yeah, an orc.
They're just like, "Well, are you finished making your inspections then? Is there anything you found?"
I have found nothing.
Well, then rejoin us then. Come here. Enjoy a mug of ale with us.
Big Mama said, I can't drink ale tonight. Gotta make more inspections. Bye-bye.
You're gonna have to make me another deception check with that. 9.
Oh my god!
You can just hear a low growl. He's like,
Oh my god.
I'm squeaking laughing so hard. Damn it.
"Tell me, you know a Big Mama, do you not? Well,
Yes.
Dying, I quit, man.
I
Just
should
kill my
have you know
character.
that there is no Big Mama among us. Big Mama is not an orc. Do you... With that, you hear a loud, "To arms, men! To arms, orcs!" And with that, you hear a rustling coming towards your direction. Do you stand and fight, or do you try and flee?
I fucking flee.
Okay. Go ahead and make me an athletics check for trying to just...
Oh my
That
god,
one. That one. Come on,
athletic
that
check.
one.
If
I'm
it
not
fucking
sure Billy
rolls
Bob
another
wants to
natural
do this
20.
check anymore.
Oh my lord. This is going to be a very interesting fork in the road. So you're trying and booking it as fast as you can, and Arthas, you can sort of hear like loud shouts and even a little bit of a scream in the distance. But as for you, Shalar, you are quickly intercepted by the orcs, and before you can do anything more, you are quickly surrounded.
Where's Bob?
It isn't much longer before a really blunt force ends up striking you along the back of your head, and everything goes black.
Oh no.
That's bullshit.
Arthas,
Wow.
what are you doing?
Did he see
I
me?
heard the struggle and I decided I'm going to go and get the others. So I ran back to the others to alert them to the danger.
Oh, look,
Okay.
someone's smart.
You could be running for a long ass time.
Hold on, we're missing somebody. Where's Bob?
So,
Oh, King Bob, Otter.
did King Bob leave the stream
Yeah,
again?
King Bob dropped out.
Oh,
He dropped
damn.
out.
I
Sorry,
didn't
Bob.
Leave. I get kicked out.
Yeah, we're on the roll 20 tab, so I can't see the StreamYard.
Yeah, I'm looking at Roll20, so I'm
Sorry,
not
I
realizing
didn't,
it when
mean to
somebody
interrupt
gets
the
kicked out.
fun, but we need our King Bob.
And
I
he's
told him not to go. What are you telling me for?
If that happens, King Bob, type it in the roll 20 chat.
Oh, yeah, all right. I did say bye-bye, Billy.
So, Arthas, you're trying to intercept the rest of the crew, but so you're taking the better part of half a day to try and intercept them, because whenever you all split paths, you all went in separate directions.
Yeah, that's quite a trek. I don't know, dude. Either go and try to save him, or
How many orcs are there?
There seems to be an entire camp of them.
it's a camp. It's a camp. It's a camp.
To be fair, you
Yeah.
imagine it's like remnants of like the shipwreckage, but there's still no small shortage of them.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna head to try to get the others. There's no way I'm gonna be able to fight all of them by myself.
And you're not exactly stealthy, are you?
No, I'm not stealthy at all. I have like no stealth. I'm wearing heavy armor.
Evidently,
And,
Rogue 20 doesn't like stealth.
So I don't think you can
Persuasion.
like go in and sneak. If we had a rogue,
Or
we could have a rogue
perception.
go in and like save him. But
Part of that was just bad rolls.
part of that
it
was
could
all.
have ended
That
it-
was all
it-
hilarious.
It could have
and
ended
like,
completely
I make a prayer to my
differently,
God,
Billy Bob, I'm
and
sorry.
I hope my God will watch over him.
A lot of that Billy
Yeah.
Bob was just bad rolls. There
Oh
was
shit!
there was the very likely chance that you could have pulled through with that.
Yep. But this was funnier.
There was one thing you said that tripped them off. That was when it all started going downhill. I'll say that up front. It's
Yeah.
not me trying to like say, oh yeah, you just made a dumb decision. I'm like, no, It was one thing you
Something
said
good.
that ended up making them suspicious.
Mm-hmm. In-game lore.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that,
So you are intercepting everyone here at the island ruins anyway. I'll just say something really quickly to Billy Bob, just in private.
It's okay. We are,
Okay. So Arthas, after running several hours, you're basically on your way to intercepting everyone here at the island ruins. As for the rest of you, you already have kind of like found your way here at this pretty well gigantic ziggurat.
Mhm.
That pretty much like towers over the jungle landscape anyway. And you can just see kind of like coming into this place that it seems to be well patrolled by a number of kind of like almost like salamander like creatures. They're very much carrying spears coming in, and they seem to be congregating in groups. Pretty well patrolling, but are you all going in kind of like regularly or trying to be sneaky about it?
Oh, I was gonna hold back and sneak a little bit, like observe, move slow for sure.
My character can't sneak.
Oh, all right.
Like, I think I have actually a
I can.
negative towards that.
No, I'm a druid. I could turn into a spider. And go scout it out.
Okay, so I don't have a negative, but I don't have a positive either. So yeah.
Okay.
So Wolf just kind of stands in front of the group and says, "Wait here." And walks up the ziggurat, and halfway up, takes the form of a very, very tiny spider. Go
Oh,
scout out
okay.
this one.
I see what you're doing now.
I'm a
I might have
druid.
to check that.
All right. I'm assuming you're trying to avoid these creatures, or where are you trying to go?
Oh, describe the creatures again, because I'm also writing down. I may have missed something here. You said there's a patrol of what type of like lizard creatures?
Yeah, you can try and give me a nature check to try and tell what they are.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Because I want to scout it out first for sure before doing anything.
But the basic surroundings is it's pretty well this gigantic ziggurat structure, just kind of like perched
Nice
in the
roll.
middle of the jungle. All of it's overgrown. There's several kind of like obelisk structures surrounding it, but there's like one path that kind of like leads back to sort of like a road that continues onward. But other than that, there's this massive entrance that seems to be just like patrolled in and out by these same creatures.
Yeah, so on the way, so I'm trying to like sneak to the side, take the form of a spider, and crawl up the wall and get like on the ceiling above all these guys and make my way in.
Okay. So with your nature check, you would recognize that these creatures are Sahagin. So normally, you would know that they are rather monstrous and unfriendly. But at the same time, looking at these guys, they don't seem quite as hostile as normal. In fact, there seems to be some sort of hierarchy to them. There's like a social structure. That's one thing as you notice as you're just going by. I wouldn't even say that you have any trouble kind of like sneaking by. There's plenty of space. So after a little bit, you manage to make your way into the ruin. And it just seems to be kind of like this wide archway. And there seems to be a greater number of these Sahagin just kind of like patrolling this main entrance. This normal way in seems to be very heavily guarded. That is one thing you do notice.
Making notes.
And
What do you
for a bit
tell
of
us,
extra
numbers or-
context, you see this.
A black screen.
I attack the darkness.
Yes. Very dark.
That's
I have dark
useful.
vision.
I'm pretty sure the spiders have dark vision.
There we go. So you see that.
So that's like the
There's
main
4?
entry.
Yes. This right here is where you actually entered in.
Can I like
So-
explore like the entire ruins as a spider? Or do I have to stay? I can keep going by them like on a ceiling, just keep cruising by.
It really just depends on your power because technically you're not even suspected by these guys.
Nope, I'm a little spider on the wall. Doop, doop,
Yep.
doop, doop, doop.
So from what you can see, this main hall here seems to be pretty heavily patrolled. But along the west and east side are 2 doors, along with a staircase up at the far end, which seems to go up.
Well, that's what I want to find, like the treasure. That's like I just want to scout it out right now, and then bring that information back. So let's keep going up the stairs.
Okay. All right. So going up the stairs anyway, you should be able to move your token around.
Oh, can I?
It should be tied to your character.
So, doop, doop, doop.
Yeah, so going up the stairs here, you see that there is another large chamber patrolled by 2 more of these Sahagin. And just scuttling up, you see that there are hallways going left and right here. One seems to be with a staircase, and the far end here is 2 pairs of curtains, but beyond you can see a pair of double doors.
Can I fit through the? I could just go underneath the double doors. I mean, I'm a spider,
Yeah, technically you can.
so I'm just gonna keep going under the double doors. Scout out. Scout.
All right.
Scout.
Am I
You
the
see-
only one not seeing anything?
No, none of us see this except him.
No, I'm the only one who could see it because I'm the only one who could scout.
Technically, I'm sitting on the porch working on something.
Interesting.
Wait,
You all can see the map, right? It's just your
And I'm
character.
running.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, and passing through 2 pairs of double doors, you end up coming into a vast chamber that is just layered with literal mountains of gold and different types of items and artifacts, all sorts of treasure that you can see. It is extremely huge. And sitting perched atop a throne, surrounded by more of these Sahagin, seems to be... There's one more Sahagin who is just kind of like sitting back. She seems to be quite feminine in figure. Her dress is revealing in just a few places, but even so, her expression is incredibly stern. She looks onward, just almost bored, very affluent, and she's flanked on one side by sort of like a burlier Sahagin who just seems to be standing at guard. It seems to be business as usual, and behind her is just sort of this large puddle, and a lot of the tentacles that you noticed from before seem to occasionally come out, possibly kind of like go over the gold a bit, maybe swipe at the odd corpse that's nearby, that's offered up to it, and just plunges it down below into just a gigantic pool of water.
Interesting. Okay.
is this
Let's
the
go.
same one that I burnt earlier
this
or a
way?
different one?
I don't know. Let me go
Oh,
down.
yeah, perception. Sorry.
Yeah, Ember would not be able to tell.
Can I actually roll that? Can I roll that perception right now to see if it's the same like kind of Kraken tentacles?
You can try. Try and give me a perception check.
Yes, I do. Perception. Oof.
Hey.
Oof.
No, you're not able to tell one way or the other.
Yeah, they look kind of small. All right, let's see what else is going on down here. Let's follow the stairs. Are these stairs going up or down?
Those stairs are going down, and along this way, you can see that it ends up forking into another passage here, and it ends up coming to a dead end. What is your
What is-
passive perception, by the way?
Passive perception.
Yeah, it's 10 plus your perception bonus.
14.
14? Okay.
Yeah.
So, just passing by this, you notice also just as a spider, that this door seems rather suspect. It seems like there may be something beyond it.
Is there any cracks that I can get through?
Looking along it, there seems to be a very tiny crack, just big enough even for a spider to fit through.
Can I go through it?
Yes.
I'm gonna go through it.
Inside, it seems to be a room that is flanked in two corners by these unmoving statues, along with just kind of like bas reliefs along either side of the wall. And at the far end is a chest.
Hold on, I gotta start drawing this shit up. It's main entry. This little square here. This thing. So I gotta be the big thing with the things and all the treasure. I got a side thing over here. Another thing. Okay. Let's go back to the hidden thing down this way.
Okay. You see in this area, it seems to be a very large room with a gigantic pool of water within it. There doesn't immediately seem to be any life stirring inside of it, and there is a passage along the far end as well.
Can I
And
tell
you
how
said-
deep that water is?
Yes. Go ahead and make me a perception check, just as you're kind of like looking down into it.
Ooh.
Natural 20. So you see that it goes down quite a ways, enough so that there even seems to be like a it almost seems like it's connecting into some sort of cavern structure, pointing along this way. You figure that if you tried kind of like diving down into it, you could probably swim to the other side.
Yeah, interesting. All right, let's just connect the paths here, head back out towards the main hole.
Yep, and you see that this very much ends up connecting back to the main hall.
So let's go straight.
And within here, you can see that it's very much a dining hall, where there's just a bunch of Sahagin just like eating from this large table. It, strangely enough, it seems to be some sort of like large, almost like fish humanoid remains. You're not entirely sure what it is. You just know that it doesn't look all that appealing.
All right. Okay. Let's keep going up.
All right. You can see up here that both ways are flanked by barrels, and up a ways above you is an alcove which seems to connect into a passageway. And with your passive perception, you just know this. There also seems to be a little alcove beneath the barrels there.
So yeah, So I know that's just going to connect through over there. So let's go to the left.
Okay. And here, you end up finding a small little hidden chamber, which seems to be on a far side. It seems to be some sort of altar that's decorated by a bunch of treasure, from what you can see anyway. Upon the altar, let's see here. Yeah. Upon this altar, you can see what seems to be a very immaculate-looking shield, along with a couple of large piles of gold, probably about like 500 golds worth or something like that, along with a weird iron-shaped rod that seems to have like end on both ends with horse heads.
So, since I'm a spider, I can't really talk right now, but he makes a little like excited squeak.
A little tittering of the.
Okay, and then it scurries back out. You know, it goes back to the group.
All right, so you pretty much make your way out without any incident. Man, that makes for some amazing scouting right there. Just shapeshifting.
You didn't know that. You didn't know that, right?
I really didn't think of it.
It's ingenious. I love druids.
That surprised even me, man.
Yeah, I'm smart.
And after a little whiles away, you managed to rejoin the group, and all of you are there except, strangely enough, Arthas and Shalar.
Well, I'd imagine by that time of scouting, Arthas could have caught up and like he'd be there, like panting. Right. By the time I got back to the group.
Oh, pretty cool.
So right about as you rejoin the group, there does seem to be a skittering kind of like in the woods behind you anyway. It is right around that time that Arthas would rejoin you. It does make sense.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
Alright.
I rejoined the group, turned back to human form, and see Arthas like panting, and all I do is shake my head and said, "No, no, no, we are not rescuing him. We haven't rejected the treasure. I saw it. My eyes, my 8 eyes saw it. How many eyes do spiders have?
8.
Yeah.
I have witnessed it.
I saw the treasure with my own 8 eyes.
We are going
True.
for that. We
We
cannot
might
go
want
for Scheller.
But we
He made
should
his choice.
save it. I'm just saying, because there's orcs back there. And what happens if they attack us when we're loaded down with treasure?
I'm just
Well,
one man. You're the group. Ask the group.
First, your character has to report to our characters what he saw and stuff.
Yeah, I tell them that we saw, well, I heard, because I didn't actually wasn't there. But I heard several orcs yelling, and then I saw, what's his name go down? He looked like he wasn't dead, but he was definitely captured.
Well, we have lizard people in front of us and orcs behind us. What if we get those two to fight each other? And we
That's actually
get the
a good
treasure.
idea.
That is
That might
ingenious.
be good.
I like that plan.
My
How?
character smiles brightly and shows off what she's been tinkering and made a little hand cannon for later.
We have a half orc, right? We can make the half orc like attack them and then run away, and then
Can the half
And
orc
then-
persuade the other orcs to join us?
Well, I can go that route. I also have the charm spell.
Can I take the form of one of these lizards?
I
Yes,
want
as long as you've seen them, you should be able to do that.
Wait. The lizards probably can't tell a half orc from a full orc. You could attack a few lizards and run towards the orc camp.
And
I
as a
could.
lizard, I could.
And
That's
if
risky.
you shapeshift to a lizard, you could attack the orcs, and then we
Yeah.
meet in the middle.
You got to realize the practicality of the game, and we're going to initiate combat, aren't we? And we're just going to be fleeing the combat the whole time. I don't know.
I don't have to do that.
No?
I can charm an orc.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have charm person.
What orc and how?
If they get close enough.
If you can charm one orc, we can make her release the other prisoner.
We're not pressed for time, are we?
Game wise,
Yeah, game wise, right? There's no time limit on this game.
no, it's really just how long you guys want to go with the game.
Okay, cool.
I got about another hour.
Okay. I don't know if this will end up ending as a one shot or be a 2-shot or something like that.
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, we'll just see how it goes.
We also gotta watch out for StreamYard, because I think StreamYard shuts off the stream after like so many hours too.
Oh, yeah.
Unless they stop that.
We're coming up on a 3 hour right now.
Yeah,
I could imagine, yeah, 1 more hour would be good for me. I could hang.
yeah, I think it should be fine, just so long
Yeah,
as it's
yeah.
all right with you guys.
Should be okay for now.
Yeah, I'm just still trying to conceive this. All right, so we want to charm an orc, which means we have to go back to the orc camp, find like one on the outskirts, have Hilga charm it, lure it back over to here, and convince it to attack the lizards, and then flee back to the orc camp.
Well, how long does the charm spell work? How long does it last?
1 hour.
I believe it's
Oh, so yeah, well, because we'd have several hours to get it back. We could charm it and convince it to either tell its buddies about the lizards and attack.
But then
You
the
try
fight
that.
will be at the, we don't want the fight to be at the ruins. We want the fight to be at the camp. The ruins we want empty.
Are the lizards technically humanoid or not?
They're Shehanigan, right? Yeah, they're human.
Yeah, they said they had a social. There's a and a woman. You might be able to charm a lizard.
I could charm a lizard and convince them to go attack the orcs. That'd be faster than us walking all the way over to the orc camp.
Yeah, or freaking.
Or, well, I should say I can attempt, because charm spells are not the greatest spells. It's only a wisdom DC 12 save.
I know. It's just like, how can we do this?
I know whenever Billy Bob Sack gets back, I think he's smoking at the moment, but there's some stuff going on with Shalar as well.
No, I'm in here.
Oh, you're there? Okay. So while that's going on, we'll dive back in perspective to what's happening with you, Shalar.
Shalar's gaining consciousness.
Shalar is regaining consciousness.
Yeah.
So,
Alright.
Shalar,
That's
after
probably-
a bit of time, you end up waking back up, finding yourself just kind of like very much just like shell-shocked just from the sudden blow on the back of the head. But you seem to be in some sort of cage, some sort of like wooden cage around you. Pretty much just about all of your belongings, save for maybe like if you have thieves' tools or something like that, have been taken off of you. And you can see around you, it's just orcs kind of like patrolling the camp, doing business. There's one or two who come over to like laugh at the prisoners, you know? Note plural, because next to you, it is not just you. You also see something else that is quite peculiar. It seems to be, for lack of a better term, an aquatic man with a fish head who's very short and stumpy, and he looks at you with very googly eyes that are just as freaky as it is comedic. And he's just like, "Oh, you are awake, I see.
What'd you do? Find the Kikomon guy?
So what are you in for?"
Evidently, I wasn't convincing enough as an orc.
Yes, I tried that tactic too. Trust me, it doesn't work.
Where are our guards?
Where are the guards? Well, if you're talking about orcs, they're technically all around us. But if you're talking about my people, well, I'm sort of on the other side of the island. We had a skirmish just a few hours back, and, well, let's just say that things did not go my way.
What if we mentioned Big Mama?
Oh,
What's that?
yes, Big Mama. I was confused about that at first as well. You see, Big Mama is that over there. And he points straight over to what seems to be a massive barrel that is almost overflowing to the brim with gunpowder and various other assortments of explosives attached to it. That is Big Mama.
Can I ask you a question, Otter?
Yes.
What would acid splash do to that barrel?
Good question.
That's a good question.
Trying to think how acid would react with gunpowder.
It would just neutralize it. It would basically dissolve it, wouldn't it? It's mostly comprised of iron, isn't it? Does it have a lot of
I'm
iron?
looking it up right now. How's that sound?
It could be an exothermic reaction igniting it.
I don't know if it
That's
ignite it.
when
Well,
When
it's going to
possible.
react with the barrel first.
Yeah, but would it
So-
ignite it? I don't think it'd ignite it.
I'm looking up the chemical formulas right now. Give me a sec.
Yeah, cool, thanks. Yeah, leave it up to the biologist. She'll get it.
Well, for everyone who's watching, this is quite the conundrum, and usually the questions that come up during a D&D session, does acid end up igniting gunpowder? My honest answer is not entirely sure as of yet.
Because it's not burning like fire, it's burning chemically.
It depends on what the
Heat
acid
not
is.
heat,
though.
That's not ignition. That's not the ignition, you know?
Right,
So,
but it could still be an exothermic reaction.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, you guys ready for this one?
Yeah.
No.
So depending on the acid, which we can make up a little, what in theory it would do is if you mix acid with gunpowder, it would create a noxious gas. It would bubble and boil and create a noxious poisonous gas.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Billy Bob, if you want to see if Shalar knows that, go ahead and make me an intelligence roll.
That kind of makes sense, though.
Okay. Hold up. Okay. Fucking, roll 20 is gonna fuck me.
We'll see what happens. If oh my god,
That's being nice. It's being nice now. It's done fucking with you.
that's a damn good roll.
I don't even know what I rolled because it kicked me out when I done it.
Well, without saying the number, I will say this. Shalar does very much know what would happen if you tried mixing the two substances.
So, is there a lock holding us in this cage?
Yes. Along the very end, it seems to be kind of like very much like a crude rusted padlock that's kind of like connecting this wooden cage together.
So I have thieves' tools, right? On me, you said.
Yes, you would still have thieves' tools. Everything else has been taken away from you.
All right. I turn to the fish boy. I go. So here's the deal. You're gonna be my watch out and make sure no guards see me while I'm tampering with this fucking lock. All right?
You cannot do that, though. It is suicide. They will catch you.
Well, it's better to die a hero than live long enough to see you.
Is it?
You know, I kind of like that. Well, even if we die, I would say it was a good run. I will follow your lead. I'll keep a lookout.
What type of gunpowder is this?
It's very much. I can't say like the actual like chemical makeup of it, but like the hue of it is like gray, like very much kind of like a gray sort of gunpowder. And
Is
on
this,
top of that, it's like multiple types of explosives attached to it.
Is it saltpetrite with sulfur and carbon, or is it?
Come on, we're not going into techno babble here. It's D&D gunpowder. It's the same stuff that was on the boat. Boom.
It makes boom.
Big bada boom.
Only much more intense.
So yeah, let's assume it will create a noxious gas when you burn it. And I kind of like
Technically,
that.
you could create a low explosion too, if that's the case.
I like the poisonous gas.
Well,
you can
it's
poison the whole
fine
camp,
logic
dude.
because I can cast it from 60 foot away. So.
So
I
you're
don't have to
planning
be
on
right next to it.
escaping, running, and making a noxious gas.
And
That
they'll
sounds
just
like a good
poison the
plan.
whole. They'll poison the whole camp.
I say go for it.
I'm gonna go for it. Either that, or I'm gonna die.
Either that, you're gonna die. Meanwhile, while this is happening, I'm assuming the other crews like actually came to decision to come rescue you.
Yeah, I would say so. So we'll dive back in perspective to those of you who are at the ancient ruins. So pretty much like you're all at the end, pretty much at the tail end of going back and forth on your decision making. So really, it comes down to kind of like a little after where you were before.
Yeah. Wolf finally pops up. Fine. There's a lot of enemies in there. We'll go get Shellar from some dumb orcs.
Okay.
All right.
Make our way.
Okay. So a little bit of a time skip here. So is this? Let me ask it this way: how long did it take you guys to make a decision? Like, are you already well on your way by the time that Shalar is deciding whether he should try and like make this reaction with the barrel?
Yeah, no, we're coming up on the camp as he's coming to his decision.
Okay.
So it's all gonna come to fruition. It's all gonna
just
like blow
making
up.
sure on that because
Yeah, that makes sense.
this could end one of two very different ways.
No, it's gonna be like, yeah, perfect timing again.
Okay. All right. So Shalar, go ahead and make me a spell attack roll to try and hit Big Mama.
Oh, is he picking the lock
do
first
what?
or attacking the thing first?
All right. Well, what are you doing first? I should say that first off.
I know,
Are you
right,
trying
really?
to pick the
Let's
lock,
think
or
Well, I
are you
have to
trying
pick
to
the
like?
lock because I can't hit it from here with us in the cage.
Okay.
Plus, you want to be able to run away from the noxious gas.
All right. Go ahead and give me a dexterity check with advantage.
Okay. God damn it.
14. So I'd still say that's enough. This is a very crude padlock after all. So it doesn't take much for you to kind of like jumble the pins, and still trying to be somewhat sneaky, the padlock just jars open. You almost have to like wrench it open, but it basically breaks. And with that, you can pretty well swing open the cage if you want.
Alrighty. How far away am I from that barrel? That big giant barrel.
About 40 feet.
Alright, I'm gonna turn to the fishbowl and be like, it's about to be time to run. When I shoot fucking acid at that barrel, run.
Okay, that is a good idea. I will follow your advice, even though I do not know what you are intending to do.
Well, we're about to find out.
And just so you know, if you ever meet my clan, my name is Crackle.
Crackle.
Crackle. Cracko.
As in snap, crackle, pop.
Crack-ho?
Cracko. Like crack-a-boom, only cracko.
Oh,
Well,
my
that
gosh.
barrel's about to go crackle.
Well, I know what my cue is.
Yep, that's how you say it.
Okay.
Alright, so the acid splash.
You have to make
Do
a
it.
spell
Oh,
attack
no.
roll, right?
Yeah,
think
it's
that's
a
right.
cantrip.
Okay.
Oh, that okay.
Oh, what would I roll for it? Fuck, I don't know.
You roll a
It's
d20 and get your spell bonus.
Yep, that's it.
Spell bonus.
Yeah, it should tell you. Oh, what page is it on?
Page 211.
211.
211.
Oh, you're talking about what the spell is?
Yeah, the cantrip spell.
Yeah,
So your spell attack bonus is whatever attribute is related to it, plus like proficiency. You're a rogue, right?
Yeah.
Are you an
Actually-
arcane trickster?
No, I think I'm an assassin.
An assassin? How did you get that anyway? that
From my
cantrip?
elvish, high elf.
Oh, okay. So it's a
Yeah,
racial
you get a
thing.
cantrip from the, I think it's the wizard
Okay.
cantrips or
It's-
whatever it was, is where that
It's
came
actually the same as a fire attack. It's not an attack that you have to roll for.
Oh, okay. So it just happens.
Right. They roll a saving throw, but since it's a barrel, it doesn't get a saving throw.
Yeah, there's not going to be any saving throw for this. It's a static object. So upon doing this, you end up hurling just like this gigantic ball of like globular acid. It collides with the barrel itself, and almost immediately you can hear just a hiss, distinct hissing, along with just this noxious fume coming about. And it's about at that same time that the orc guards begin to notice you. And like, hey, what is he doing? He's doing something to Big Mama. After him. What are you doing? What are you doing, Shalar?
from.
You gonna try athletics again? It didn't work last time. Oh, what do you think? You think you get two bad rolls in the same game? I doubt it. On athletics.
Well, it looks like all I can do after I ain't got no weapons. So I guess I'm gonna try athletics again.
Okay, so while you're
Roll
rolling
up.
athletics, you all are actually coming into the edge of camp. Like, you have been booking it as fast as you can, and you are finally getting it, making it to the edge.
Woohoo!
All right.
Alright.
Well, what do we see then?
All right. So as you're coming along, you see that the actual orcs within the camp, they all seem to be scurrying for some strange reason. You're not entirely sure why. Even so, you see a rather peculiar-looking fish man being chased by a couple of orcs right out along the camp, straight in your direction. He's just yelling,
Help me! Help me! They're after me! There's going to be a boom! A crack-a-boom!
Oh, God.
Okay.
what do you do?
Sweet.
Who was
We have
our
an archer?
half orc again?
Me.
Send out the half orc. Time to use the bard skills for some female persuasion. I mean, what?
Actually,
Go
I have
talk
something
to your
else in
guys.
mind. I'm thinking of maybe using minor illusion.
Yeah, if we can get out of here without like taking damage or fighting, and not attract the whole rest of the orcs back to the ruins, I'll be happy. No combat.
Yeah, I could use minor illusion to create a sound.
But what? I want to kill something.
Well, you get a chance. You get a chance.
You probably don't want me anywhere near something. I'll try to light it on fire.
Again, you'll get
Well.
a chance.
Whole kid's about to go kind of like a boom or whatever.
Hey, Margie, Firebolt hat eine 120. Oh, Margie, Firebolt has a 120 feet range.
I do have a 120-foot range of a spammable combustion.
Jeez.
All right. I would like to cast minor illusion.
Okay.
It's a 30-foot spell. Make a sound that sounds like an orc speaking in orc,
Okay.
saying something like, "Help me! There's too many of them. I'm surrounded by so many." Try and get
Okay.
people's attention.
Go ahead and make me a deception check.
Nat 20.
Nat
Nice.
20. Okay.
Which
By
apparently is a B on this screen. I don't know why.
the end of that, as soon as that sound is made, those two orcs, all of a sudden, they kind of trip over themselves as they try and go after whoever this Krakow fella is. He just eludes their grasp, and they're like, "Who is that out in the jungle? They're saying we're surrounded. We should probably flee. Somewhere. I don't know where."
Right on.
Nice. Good job.
They just seem bewildered.
Back to Big Mama.
All right. So, Shalar, you are quickly being kind of like the orcs around you. One of them is trying to grapple at you. Like he is actually trying to like wrap his arm around you. You can try and avoid it if you want. If you want to try and elude it, you can make either an athletics or an acrobatics. But otherwise, he's going to try and restrain you.
I'll try acrobatics.
Okay. He rolled really poorly too. So right as that's happening, he
Nice.
nearly closes his arms around you, but you actually just kind of like duck under just in the nick of time, roll away, and which actually just gets right outside of the field of gas, and you can see that the orcs right around Big Mama are beginning to growl at you. Then they inhale. They're like, "Huh? Ugh." They just immediately slump to the ground. The base still seems to be on high alert. There's still quite a bit of noise, but a lot of the orcs are, especially around Big Mama, the gas is only expanding outward more and more, and yeah, it just seems to be getting like more and more dangerous by the second.
Am I allowed to do another one?
Is there any insight, or I can do like an, to try to think of where they would put all my shit?
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
you can do an
okay.
investigation check really quickly.
So this gas, I'm doing the research now. If you combine black powder in with acid,
Damn it.
why? Because I'm a nerd. The gas wouldn't kill anybody, but it is combustible.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh no!
Okay, so that answers a few more questions, actually.
How about the it just hasn't reached critical mass in the reaction yet, so it's still kind of fuming, but it hasn't exploded. You know.
And I'm getting this. This is a chemical theory from usni.org.
So, Shalar, you end up making it. You end up searching around the camp, just kind of like frantically searching any chests or bags that you can find. You eventually come across one large sack. When upon opening it, you see all of your belongings within it. It's a little heavy to kind of like carry over your shoulder, but you can go just far enough, like while eluding the gas as well.
Okay.
It's around that point where you notice that Kraken is no longer with you. He is bolted. So apparently, according to a bunch of shrieking that you can hear, he's not far away either.
I'm gonna go in his direction, wherever the fuck he was screaming,
Okay.
quacking, or whatever the fuck fish boys do.
All right. So upon that, all of you surrounding the orcs, what are you doing? Because they are very much off guard.
I'd like to cast another minor illusion.
Okay.
Same
How
kind of
many?
thing.
Do we know how many orcs are actually in our vicinity, or like?
Say it again, Myriosphere.
I said how many orcs are we dealing with still, or is it like the patrons? Is it like 4 or 5?
So you're on the edge of the camp, and there was only 2 chasing after Kraken.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they don't seem to be very big either.
Now, I'm going to take at least one of them out real quick.
Well, I'm hoping to take every one of them out.
I don't want to do any combat at all. I'm trying to save combat for the ruins.
Well, the thing is, like, you all are clearly outnumbering them. I wouldn't even say we'd need to go in combat for this. They're off guard as well. So it's very much just kind of like you all can either choose to capture them or just straight up kill them.
Oh, I like kill them.
Well, I like this plan of trying to lure them closer to the acid crap and then have Maji blow them all up.
Well, we can't get in. We can't go too close to it because we'll start getting the fumes.
Well,
So,
technically, you all don't know about it either.
Yeah, Wolf would want to kill them all too. He's just like purify the lands, burn them, kill them.
Purify the lands. Technically, they're orc lands.
Technically, I have to because I'm a paladin of vengeance. But anytime I see evil, I have to kill it.
Yeah, no, these are.
It sounds like we're the ones being evil. We invaded them.
They're the pirate orcs. They're the pirate orcs that attacked us earlier.
So yeah.
Yeah, they're not good. It's not just some random orc camp. These are the pirates.
Yeah.
So
All right,
kill them.
Right. So I have done the research. The gas is a flammable gas. It's not very expanding, judging by the composition. Granted, I was going off of basic black powder with sulfuric acid because I don't know what the hell acid spit is. But it also made the black powder because it's infused with the acid the way it is. If we're going off of actual science, it actually makes it even more volatile and more explosive.
Yeah. So there's just a flammable cloud building up around this pile of
With the
explosives.
super bomb of
Just ready to
really
go.
explosive black
Just needs a spark. That's
Right.
all it
The
needs.
only thing for the moment is the only damper in that plan is your characters do not know about the noxious gas.
Oh yeah, no.
Unless my character interacts with y'all until
Yeah, Shellar's got to get back out.
that would be a major difference.
Uh-huh. So
and I
Shellar's gotta
should
get
be
out.
coming up on you because
You're
Kako.
actually-
If you're going in that direction, you immediately run into them, and you see them pretty much dispatching with these 2 orcs. And you can also see Kraken. He seems to be hiding behind a bush, just kind of like shivering.
Come on, cockatoo. Get out of there. You're
pretty
safe.
sure we could smell the sulfur, but I could be
Come
wrong.
on,
I don't know.
Kako.
No.
I don't know
Now,
how
Amber.
acid breath spit
Hold up.
works.
Would my character know that the gas is flammable if I knew that it would cause gas?
Yeah,
so
so,
Yeah, like you
so
knew
by
that
the
was gonna
roll
be the
you
reaction.
did, you would pretty much know the chemical properties of the gas that's being created here.
Yeah, she'd be
So-
probably running out telling her, "Hey, light that on
I'm gonna
fire!"
go up to Ember and I'm gonna say, "Hey, there's a lot of gas in that camp. You have fire. Fire and gas. Go boom boom."
Into
Apparently, you're an
Boom,
imbecile.
boom.
Hey, pyro, go blow stuff up.
Light it up,
Eliminate the
Ember.
orcs
So
right now.
hopefully we get Maji to blow up the boat, blow up this camp, and by the end of the game, blow up the ruins.
Actually, I
God.
was gonna say we should not blow up the camp and use that very volatile gunpowder to blow up the ruins.
Ruins
Don't
has too
blow
much
up-
treasure. We don't want to blow up the ruins. I'm just joking. Let's go.
Yeah, if you blow up the ruins, it might sink all the treasure.
But the
Yep.
lizard people and the Kraken.
Listen, we can get rid of the orcs.
We
Out of
could
the way.
also use the noxious gas to poison the Kraken.
I'm not worried about it.
Well, the noxious gas doesn't seem like it will poison anybody. It's more just there to make it explosive.
Yeah, it's ready. It's ready to go. It's primed. Do it. Blow it up. YOLO. Maji, YOLO.
Blow it up.
You blew up a ship, now blow up the camp.
I'm not even at the camp. I'm still sitting at the ruins, twiddling away with my hand
Not
cannon.
No,
No,
not, you're
you
with
came
us.
with us.
Oh,
You've
did
been
I?
with us. Yeah, you
Yep.
don't
Yeah.
remember?
And I just
I
told
was
you.
I was looking
Go
up
boom,
what
boom.
like the byproducts of acid and
I
gunpowder.
know, you were nerding out on science instead of focusing on the game, Maji. Focus on the game.
Sorry.
All right, so you're at the outside the camp. You just got this information from Shellar. He's telling you to throw one of your little fireballs in there and blow the camp up. Blow the camp up. There it is. No, you want to do that.
The tiefling gives off an evil smirk as she conjures up a fireball. She tells everybody that they should take cover.
Yeah, Wolf
Yeah,
goes
grab
behind a tree and
Kaka's
covers his
arm.
ears.
Wait, but the big barrel. Do we want to save the big barrel? Because if I
No!
blow it up, there's
Blow
no
it
way.
No, blow it up.
No, blow it up. Blow up the camp.
We're gonna
Alright.
wipe out, kill a shit
Blow up the
ton of
camp.
orcs.
All
Blow
right.
it all up.
As she prepares the fireball, she gives one final smirk and says, "Have have a blast." She takes the fireball into the camp.
I'm loving this pyromaniac side to Ember. It's so good. Ember fits this name perfectly.
She's getting so many good opportunities too.
Do I
So,
need to roll for damage, or do we know this camp is gone?
This game's
well, you could roll damage, but the evident explosion and hailing of screams says enough already.
yeah.
We committed
No.
genocide. Toodaloo.
So,
It's not genocide.
This is
out
kinda
of character here, out of game. There is not just Big Mama in there. They also have several sticks of dynamite.
Oh, great.
So it is not just one major explosion, it is several
Several.
major explosions. So it's,
My character turns around and walks away like an action star superhero with the fire
Nice.
blaze behind her of hell.
Never look back.
Mavolo
Alright,
looks at the
Kaku, you're with us.
explosion
Next
and
building to
whistles
blow
an
up, please.
appreciative tune.
so let me make just one minor adjustment here.
The camp is gone.
Thanks, Kratos.
Brush out the camp.
Now my question is: there anything left in that camp at all? So did they supposed to have the island sink?
Damn, we might have lit the whole forest on fire, damn it.
Oh yeah, it's a heavily jungled part.
Yeah, so it's not just the camp, it's like the surrounding forest that immediately catches on fire.
All right,
So-
so I control. Wolf just puts out his hands and controls the flame and puts it out. Well, I don't
Yeah,
know. if
so
I can all
you
of
do it around your immediate vicinity, but like the flames
the
are
whole
pretty
thing.
far reaching too. Like you can technically do it, but it'd take time too.
My Tiefla does a sexy walk back towards the path, heading to the temple like she did nothing wrong.
We lost King Bob again.
Yeah, I also wave
Oh,
to
damn.
Taco. Tell him, let's go, buddy.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, Wolf just like puts out the flames. They're meeting right around the group and says, "That's all right. Wildfires are good for forests. Let's go."
That's the circle of life.
It is.
Ember does come out of this looking like the ultimate badass heroine.
Her
Nice.
tail flicks back and forth. She's
So
catwalking.
excited. Like, yay! I'm like, I want to kill some more.
Are there any survivors? Is there loot?
So
I still have my hand cannon, damn it. I never got to use it.
Hopefully
So-
we can use it.
Shalar, following this, Krako just comes up to you and he's like,
Who are you people?
We are the Salty Swallowers.
Oh my god.
Can I just walk off?
But wait. What is your name? You helped me escape.
Shalar Trusfectus Dumar.
No, it cannot be. Shalar. It's Shalar.
at that point, he immediately goes into like a sort of like servant to an emperor type bow. Like, he is bowing for his life.
What the frick is going on?
Wow.
Shalar, if
Am
you
I
don't get
just-
rid of that talking fish, he's gonna become food.
It is
So,
Shalar. You must all bow before his glory. Otherwise, he
Oh
will eat
hell
you all.
no! Shalar can just kiss the tail. Okay, I'm done.
Good. Yeah.
All right, cockatoo.
Yeah.
Now, hold up. Actually, I can't ask this because my character doesn't know this. You know what? What did y'all see in the ruins?
What were you guys up to?
He was captured.
He was captured. Yeah, remember he was over there. So Wolf just pipes in. Well, while you were making friends with these orcs, I saw a lot of treasure, a lot of gold, Shellar, a lot.
Actually, I made friends with a fish.
Yeah, I see that.
My character
Almost as
turns
if,
around
must bow
and
down
you
before
pulling out a hand cannon out of a questionable spot and smiles widely.
Oh, good grief.
You would make a good employee at my business. Those are some real talent.
Wolf goes up to Wolf goes up to Kraken and goes, Why are you bowing to this guy? Is he some sort of legend around here? Is there a legend of Shalar on this island?
So
Right.
you know of the legend of Shalar. You
Oh,
know
no.
of it too.
Oh,
I know
God.
nothing.
We are so
Make it
sweet.
stop.
Yes, there is a legend of Shalar.
Well,
You
what
see,
is the legend? Don't just
What
leave
is
us
this
hanging.
legend?
it is revered by we, the Kuotoa, our race of people. We, among this island, there have been stories ever since the beginning of time. For centuries, our kind were fed to this Kraken, the great Shalar. He is the one who buys to eat all of us. It is only through the grace of the Sohogan, the great Shalani and her temple, that we are spared. Instead, we send only a monthly sacrifice, so that he might be sated for the time being.
So
Who's
his people-
sacrificing y'all?
So are these ruins a problem for your people?
Is my mic not working?
What did you say,
That's
Billy
fine.
Bob?
I was asking him, who was the one who originally started sacrificing y'all to the Kraken?
There you go.
It was Shalani.
Was it the orcs?
Shalani is his priestess. He is Shalar's priestess. He is your priestess. Please, do not eat me. I am so soft and I do not taste good. Please,
Okay. I get it.
spare me.
Only if you pledge to serve me well.
Oh,
I will, my
That
lord.
was-
What the hell's he gonna do at your place? when
Now,
he's
there
going
were
there?
some ancient ruins, Cockatoo.
Yes, it is sacred ground.
What are the ruins? Whose ruins are there? Are there any? I don't know.
They're your
gold
ruins.
there? Treasures, statues.
Yes,
Yeah.
there are
Gold.
many treasures. All treasures
Lots of
we have
gold.
yielded to Shilani. Shilani is your priestess. Of course you'll know this, great master, my lord.
So
Well,
he's not one of the people. He's
is
not.
there
His
any
people are not the
enemies in
people
these
who.
ruins?
yes, Shalar. I just scouted it out. I need to have a conversation with
Well,
you.
You're the
Uh,
king of
Are you
Shalar,
actually
man.
asking that to Krakow?
Yeah, Cockatoo.
Cockatoo.
He's like,
well, the Sahagin have ruled over us for a few centuries now. They have saved our lives, but in turn we are their slaves. All
Mhm.
my people and I, we were about to go and try and beg them to spare us. We do not even have enough food to sustain ourselves. We have nothing. They have it all. But it is better to starve than to be eaten at your hand.
You know, it sounds to me, Cockatoo, that they're tricking you to believe that I want to eat you.
I don't even.
What?
All I wanted was gold. So
You
they
do
must have
not
been
want to
tricking
eat
me.
me?
No,
Yeah.
I don't want to eat you.
You just want the gold?
Just the gold.
And
That's their gold.
they have been
No,
keeping
my
it from
gold.
you?
They betrayed me, Cockatoo. You see?
This is blasphemy. This is heresy. I will not stand for it. This is
Shalar
this is a
cannot
crime
blasphemize against herself.
all Kuator. My tribe and I. You see, I am the greatest warrior in Shell Harbor. It is our home. I will muster all my men's forces, all we can against them.
That will please
no
your
offense,
master
Fish
greatly.
guy, but you were captured. If you're the best warrior there is, we are in serious trouble.
Ember,
It was
shut up.
only a small group of us. We were looking to appeal to Shilani. There is much more of us, and trust us, with the proper weapons and training, we could probably pull it off.
Probably. That's the scary word there.
No, not probably. They will.
I have
Let's
faith
go
in my
recruit 'em.
servants, okay?
There is
The fact that
Another
they're
way.
your servants is why we should be concerned.
Wait. There's another way.
there is not just the front entrance. There is another caveat.
A secret
There is-
entrance.
A secret way.
Does it
through
go
an old
underwater?
cave. It is patrolled by a few ancient creatures, but we've snuck by them before. It leads into the temple. We, the Kuator, know of this. These creatures, they were the original builders of the temple. They worshipped Shalar far before we did.
Oh, that's even better.
What do you say, Shalar? You want an army?
I sure do. My
Me too.
good and faithful servants.
Mavolo raises his hand. I want the army of fish people.
I can't.
All right. Show us where your camp is. Bring us to your people.
Yes, we shall show you.
Also, just an honest question. So I'm trying to think how much longer would each of you be wanting to play this onward? Because
No, that's like this is a good
I gotta.
stop
I
point.
gotta
okay,
This is a great stopping point right
Yeah,
now.
this is
Audrey.
great
Yeah,
stuff.
sadly,
okay.
I
I
have
was
to
meaning to
leave
ask.
him 15.
No, this
Okay.
is great.
Yeah, I got
But-
a story.
Very well. I'm surprised. This is a great story.
Yeah.
I'm not
He ends up
surprised.
taking you all down to this corner of the map. And I will end on this just as sort of a cliffhanger to hopefully be concluded next time.
Yeah.
He ends up taking you down the path, which takes a little over a day of you kind of like traveling along, hunting and gathering what food you can. And finally, you get a clue as to the original captain who ended up discovering this island. As you see, just along this path, moored along the shore, is an old, decrepit ship, covered in ivy and moss, along with like several large, kind of like crustacean shells perched around it. There seem to be several more of these Kuotoa who are inhabiting this place as homes. And as you're coming into the center of the edge of camp, you just hear Kraken going,
Hail the return of Shilar! Shilar is upon us once again! All hail Shilar!
and all of them just end up chanting Shilar, Shilar in unison.
All hail Shilar! Shilar!
Think like the ending of Evil Dead 2 or the beginning of Army of Darkness.
Yes.
It's
yeah.
very much in that vein.
Nice. Solid reference. That's a solid reference.
And that is where we are going to end the game tonight.
Perfect. Good job.
What's funny is I blown up 2 things. Neither of them were actually with my artificer skills.
No, it's with your cantrip. Your basic ass cantrip is blowing up shit left and right. Took out a ship. Took it down. That's all you need.
Have a blast. Dilate the whole corner of the land.
There was a lot of unexpected developments in that I truly, truly loved.
Mm-hmm.
I tried
Oh,
with my orc impression.
Yeah, maybe we should leave that to the orc.
All right. So for those of you watching, that is where we'll end up calling it for tonight. Hopefully we will be able to continue this game sometime soon and hopefully finish it and see just how this little story ends up reaching its conclusion. So to those of you... So to those of you out there, I guess we can go ahead and each say goodbye to the audience who's been thankful enough to join us for tonight's game. So to each of you, I'd like to say thank you, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
See ya. Have fun.
Good night.
Hopefully you got a big blast too.